Black Alpha Network. Home of Black Excellence. Power to the people.
If you do not understand white supremacy, what it is and how it works, everything else that you understand, that you do understand, will confuse you. And how did I come to that conclusion? Based on logic. I came up with the 9 areas of activity that would cover what everybody is doing each and every minute of each and every day in one or more of these areas of activity. And I just came up with an orchestrated way of expressing it, and I call those 9 areas economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. And I think that just about covers just about everything that every person is engaged in, minute by minute, day by day, anywhere on the planet at any given time.
Cash reparations everywhere around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, y'all. Yes, one thing for sure, 2 things for certain, family. And that is, everybody else gonna play and hate, FBA gonna money make. Everybody else gonna play and hate, and FBA gonna separate. And while all these other motherfuckers play and hate, foundational Black Americans gonna regulate. And that's exactly what we doing right here today. I appreciate you. Let's go. All day, the FBA family tree is in the building. So if you hear people running, hopping, skipping, jumping over barbed wire, trying to get away, trying to get as far the fuck away from us as possible, that's typical when we step into the building. See, they'll run their mouth, they'll flap their gums, but as soon as FBA walks through that goddamn door, motherfuckers hit the exits ASAP. And you can't expect nothing less from them, because when you're dealing with us, the exceptional lineage, the exceptional heritage, the exceptional culture, motherfuckers get in where they fit in, and they can't fit in around us. So we just gonna continue to do what we always do, y'all. Make sure you smash that like button, and please share this video with every real one you know. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all with a passion, and the roast continues. Yes, it does. Every time we team up. Hey, this ain't no social media, YouTube, Twitter, none of that. What this is the FBA family tree, chopping it up, breaking it down, and just doing a little regulating. That's all. It ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's on code, they ain't got nothing to worry about. But if your ass off code, and you talking a bunch of off code language, then them FBA certifieds gonna get you. But where y'all at right now? Where you tapping in from? Give me that FBA roll call. Give me your town, your city, your county. Where you at? Me, I'm broadcasting live from the great state of Florida on my way back to the great state of Georgia. But wherever you are, whatever town, city, or state, I'm sending you a certified salute directly to where you standing, because you know we are all in this together. We are all as one. And wherever one of my FBA brothers and sisters are, I'm there in my FBA spirit, the same way you're here in your FBA spirit. And when you put a lot of that FBA energy into place, you have nothing but the certified. And we are the certified 100, salute, the certified vanguards, salute, and certified BLACK society, and we run it. So when I say Black Alpha Network's pushing, and I say we bringing the fire, we got that fire, and we gonna continue to push it. We gonna continue to bring that real heat, and we just gonna represent for all of us everywhere in the flesh. Y'all know how we do, because nothing moves without certified Black society, and when we get to moving, then everybody else moves out the way. So with that said, family, since we laid that all down, since we all here collectively, and shout out to everybody in the chat and everybody listening right now, y'all know how we are. I gotta tell y'all this. We always put it on the line about what's gonna happen, and then it happens. We always say what's gonna go on next, and then we sit back and watch it. We always slam a goddamn receipt on the table, and then we cash that goddamn receipt. Ain't we said everything politically, socially? Didn't we say everything personally, privately, publicly? Don't we just call all the shots at this point? Certified foundational Black Americans, man, we 100 out of 100. We shooting threes with our eyes closed, and it's hit nothing but net. Because I'd be damned if we don't sit here and say you got a whole bunch of ops popping out of nowhere, and then the ops pop out of nowhere. We say we got a whole lot of minions pulling up. You see a whole lot of minions pulling up. We know the dominant society puppet, the dominant society minion, the butter biscuit chasers. Hell, we know the butter biscuits ain't even getting put out like they used to. We starting to see these motherfuckers is getting crumbs of butter biscuits. I mean, goddamn. So we know every single thing that goes on in the whole world. I'm not just talking about one country, two country, three. No, I'm talking about the whole planet. Because remember, that FBA presence is global. We'll never ever sell ourselves short. We'll never lowball it. Foundational Black Americans, we affect and influence the whole planet Earth. So therefore, we're going to speak on that. We're going to represent that. We're going to let everybody know we some big steppers and we some G-checkers too. So when you start seeing everybody do every single thing that we said they was gonna do, that just makes life great. And that shows you again that we just out here regulating with our exceptional self. We just out here separating with our exceptional self. And we gonna get our reparations with our exceptional selves. And we gonna spend that exceptional money because it is belonging to us. Nobody else. And you know that ops start popping out of nowhere and then they start trying to duplicate us and mimic us, and everything is designed to try to throw us off track, to try to derail us. What I always say, misdirection, miseducation, and misrepresentation. Those are the typical things that you're gonna see when motherfuckers try to come at Foundational Black Americans, because y'all know they can never see us eye to eye, face to face. So with that said, you got a lot of people trying to run interference, family. Oh yeah, just name them. You got all these folks out here saying they for reparations, they not, they Repa-Faking. You feel me? There's a lot of Repa-Fakers out here. When you look at our reparations claim, you know they're going to try to muddy the waters. We've been talking about that all the time right here on the Black Alpha Network, about the overcomplication, them trying to blur the lines, them trying to make everything murky so they can try to confuse us with reparations. See, they know they can't stop us from getting reparations. They know they can't out-educate us. They can't outthink us, out-clever us, out-articulate us. They know they can't do none of that shit. So the last thing they try to do is they say, let's try to make this confusing. Let's try to throw a bunch of smoke in the air, a lot of dust. Let's send in these ops, these lineage ops, these reparations ops. Just basically, family, think of everybody who's trying to stop us and just put op in front of their name. You feel me? When we start talking about our lineage, you're going to have lineage ops. When we start talking about our heritage, you're going to have heritage ops. When you start talking about our culture, you're going to have culture ops. And when you start talking about our reparations, you're going to have reparations ops. And I call them Repa-Fakers. All right, so half these folks running around here saying they about reparations, they ain't about reparations, they about Repa-Faking. All these folks running around here saying they reparationist, they ain't reparationist, they Repa-Fakinist. Everything about them fake as hell. They ain't really about the community, they ain't really about the lineage, they ain't really about the culture. They're either here to derail us or try to get a personal bag. Yes, when you start seeing these folks pop up at these reparations committees and they start saying all types of slander, they start saying all types of off-coded reckless shit. These ain't no reparationists, these are Repa-Fakers. Yes, I said it, Repa-Fakers. They ain't about no money for us, they about money for self. See, the reparations movement and our reparations claim that we are all proudly a part of has highlighted so many off-coded motherfuckers. It's highlighted so many snakes. It's highlighted so many people who are really oppositions towards foundational Black Americans. And remember, opposition always comes wearing an ally costume. You feel me? Yes, they're never gonna come at us as open opposition, because anybody who's ever came at foundational Black Americans as open oppositions has got dealt with. So what they want to do, they want to put on that allied mask. They want to come and start saying, hey, I'm on your side. I'm on your team. We all in it together. We all's black. How many times you done heard we all black? How many times y'all done heard come home, brother? How many times have you seen somebody from some other community that's showing up saying how good we are? We never heard any of this shit for 60 years. Fuck that. We ain't heard none of that shit for 400 years. In 4 years, now everybody's our friend. Everybody wants to be a part of us. Everybody wants to be associated. So when you're sitting here by yourself on our own FBA island, handling our own FBA business, taking care of each other by ourselves, saying we all we got, because don't nobody ever assist us in any way, shape, or form. And then out of nowhere, you say the word reparations one time, and then every single group, organization, political party, political affiliation, preferences, acronyms, hyphens, all start to show up at our door and claim that they are friends. You know them some fake motherfuckers, and they all fake as hell, and we calling out every last one of them. And we gonna break down how the opposition comes to us. See, it's one thing to say you got ops, and it's another thing to frame they ass. And you know right here on the Black Alpha Network, we don't only just frame motherfuckers, we put addresses, names, dates, faces on that Summer Jam Jumbotron, so the whole goddamn world to see that FBA ain't nothing to fuck with. So with that said, with that known, with that on point, let's get to work and start calling out motherfuckers one by one by one. And when we finish today, every single reparations op, every single Repa-Faker, every single Repa-Faction-ist, and every single reparations fake motherfucker who's trying to con us is going to be exposed. So with that said, you know we got to start with the whole diaspora. Yes, because if you want to find somebody who either wants in on our money, or someone who is trying to connect themselves to our money, or someone who's trying to tie us all in as one big old black race so they can get our dollar bills, y'all, these are the first people that you got to start with. Steve Harvey. Did y'all see Steve Harvey? Did y'all see Steve Harvey running around here 30 years with a fake ass hairline? Hey, before motherfuckers had fake hairlines back in the day, he had an old fake hairline. Yes, that little shit that was like straight, that was fake as fuck. That was fake. Yes, and Steve Harvey been a fake one. And Steve Harvey just came out the other day talking about man, we all friends in Africa. They is us. They is ours. They are we's. He was doing every single thing he could do to try to connect us to the diaspora, because understand, they will send out other people to try to push that message, to try to push that line. And when I just sat here a second ago and said, ever since we start speaking about reparations, family, everybody now is claiming to be our relatives. Now everybody's saying that they kinfolk. Now everybody's saying they're a friend or an ally. No, the fuck you're not. Our only allies are certified foundational black Americans. That is it. That's where it's always been. It's not gonna be FBA always over here by ourselves and then all of a sudden now everybody wants to be our friend. And the same people trying to be our friend are the same motherfuckers who ain't never did nothing for us. And they fucked around and they made us get used to it. See, FBA, we like being by ourselves. Oh yeah. Oh, we don't need that we are the world shit. We don't need that all lives matter shit. We don't need that can we all get along shit. We don't need that yes we can shit. We ain't trying to hold hands and kick legs like motherfucking cheerleaders. FBA, we stay in our own FBA lane with our own FBA brothers and sisters, and we do our FBA thing. And we do it damn exceptional too. So if somebody thinks that they gonna send out Steve Harvey to try to connect us to Africa, hey, this how desperate they getting, fam. They sending out Steve Harvey fake marriage advice, been divorced 29 motherfucking times ass to try to get us to feel sympathetics about the motherlands and how we's is all ones. Nah, motherfucker, you can be one. You can fly your ass over there and go get citizenship. But foundational black Americans, we ain't gotta fly nowhere because we standing in the same country that we built. And when you can stand 10 toes down, loyal to the soil, in the trenches, in the country that you built, you can say whatever the fuck you want to say. So we gonna say whatever the fuck we feel. And that is FBA all goddamn day, and we are not the same. Listen.
They are the kindest, most sincere people I've ever been around. Ever. Forget everything you've ever heard. After you go to Africa, you got to go to Ghana first. Then you need to go to Botswana, because you need to see Botswana is the second richest diamond producer nation in the world.
Go to Botswana, y'all.
Black people over there got something. And then you got to go to Johannesburg.
Go to Johannesburg, y'all.
That's what you got. You got to do that jump right there. Once you see that, you'll understand who we are. Them Africans ain't stole nothing from us. They talk about Burna Boy stole this. No, we stole from Burna Boy.
Whoa, up, hold up, freeze. That man hella off code. Oh, no. Let's rewind. Let's break that shit down. Because he came out talking bullshit from the first sentence. He said, first off, we got to go to Ghana and we got to go to Botswana so we can see all the diamonds that they don't own their goddamn self. We can see all the minerals that they don't own their goddamn self. We can see all the resources that they don't own their goddamn self. He left out all that. He left out the very fact that every single diamond, every single fucking drop of oil gets shipped up and sent to the Europeaners, and then they sell that shit back to them. And everybody on the whole goddamn planet Earth knows that. But I guess Steve Hartley, he missed that point. Okay. Then he tells us that they didn't steal nothing from us. We stole from them. Yep, hey, that's what he said. You heard it. He said that foundational black Americans, we stole from Africa. Not them over there cosplaying us, duplicating us, mimicking us, trying to walk like us, talk like us, act like us, rap like us, sing like us. You got a fucking tether Tupac running around, a tether Michael Jackson running around, a tether Prince, a tether Mary J. Blige, all that shit going on over there where they trying to duplicate our culture. Let me ask y'all a question. Family, have you ever seen any foundational black American running around here throwing spears and eating jollof? Have you seen that? Have you seen any foundational black American running around here trying to duplicate African culture? Throwing foo-foo in the fucking sky, telling everybody my name is Fatumaya? Have you heard it? I'm just saying, have you seen anybody from Chicago saying they from Nigeria? Have you seen anybody from Alabama saying they from Ghana? Have you seen anybody from California saying they from the Congo? I've never seen it. So this notion that we be stealing from them, you tell me where you done seen the foundational Black American duplicating African culture, I'll wait. Now, if you want to come show me an African duplicating foundational Black American culture, we got all goddamn day. But I guess Stephanie Hardley, I guess he missed that whole motherfucking point. And then on top of all of that fuck bullshit that he just said right there, then he fucked up completely. See, what people like to do, they like to talk about the diaspora and say things that apply to themselves, but then they try to project it on to all of us, and then we gotta stop them in their motherfucking tracks. He said all that bullshit, and then the motherfucker ended it by saying, you can go over to Africa, and then you finally find out who you are. Find out who you are? So that means that motherfucker don't know who he is. That's you. What I said before, family. An easy way to stop anybody who's trying to project onto us, it's a simple term. It's called, that's that motherfucker. You feel me? Anytime someone come around and say, y'all know how we are, no, that's that motherfucker. Man, you know we's, no, you's, that's that motherfucker. Man, cause all of us, ain't all of us, is all of your ass. That's that motherfucker. So anytime you meet anybody, I don't give a fuck what it is. It could be Steve Hardley, a motherfucker at the job, a motherfucker walking down the street, and they try to hit you with that, we needs to get it together, or we needs to do better. Tell them, nope, 3 words. That's that motherfucker.
We are. Them Africans ain't stole nothing from us. They talk about Burna Boy stole this. No, we stole from Burna Boy. Them Africans is us, man.
They is us.
They the beat. They the rhythm. They the soul. They the hard work. We get our courage from them.
Whoa, what you say? Hold on, let me run that back, family.
They the beat. They the rhythm. They the soul. They the hard work. We get our courage from them.
Whoa, the fuck up. Ladies and gentlemen, and the winner of the most off-coded shit for the last 200 fucking years, Steve Hardley. He said, let's run that shit back. First off, all that is us. They is us. Us is. Nah, motherfucker, you. He said that we get our soul from them. Family. I'm gonna go there. Can I rock? Can I go there? Can I get them? Okay, let's go. First off, the very term soul comes from foundational Black Americans. Wasn't nobody on the planet Earth talking about they got soul other than foundational Black Americans. James Brown said it best. He said, I got soul, I'm super bad. And wasn't nobody talking about having soul other than FBA. And I'm going to say it loud and proud, and I'm going to say it clear. Anybody running around here saying soul music, got that from foundational Black Americans, soul clap, soul food. Listen to what I just said, family. We make music and we call it soul music. The food we eat, we call it soul food. In church, grandma and them do the soul clap. So anybody running around here talking about they got soul, got that from foundational Black Americans. And foundational Black Americans got that from being in them cotton fields in the South. By standing together, uplifting each other, uprising each other, picking cotton in the worst conditions, facing the worst type of tragedies, but we did it together. All of that soul comes from us. When we were singing them hymns came from foundational Black American slaves, our ancestors, not theirs, our ancestors being out in them fields, putting in that work. That's where the soul comes from. And the very fact that Steve Hardley or Stephanie Hardley has to sit here and use our own terminologies based on our own creations and give it to them shows you that you're dealing with a C-O-O-N with a capital. Yes, all the way through. But then the Coonan didn't just stop there. He also said that they're the ones who put in the hard work. Shit, there ain't nobody on the face of this planet that has put in more hard work than foundational Black Americans. Because if you build something like the United States of America, trust me, it took hard work. And mind you, we built this country through oppression and through slavery. You can't ever try to lecture us on hard work. This motherfucker right here trying to tell us someone else outworked us. Now let me tell you, we put in all the hard work and we got something to show for it. We put in hard work and we put our name tag on it. We put in hard work and we wear that shit as a badge of honor. What hard work they done did? Somebody tell me what hard work they done did. Oh, I'm sorry. Doing hard work for the Italians, that don't count. Doing hard work for the Dutch, that don't count. Doing hard work for the Brits, that don't count. Doing hard work for the Germans, that don't count. They may have did hard work, but they ain't got a goddamn thing to show for it because they took the work, stabbed each other in the back, sold each other out, and gave their hard work away. So all them diamonds that he was just talking about, because he was the one talking about go to Botswana, we is them. Go to Ghana, we is them. Well, over there, any hard work they doing, they is giving that shit to the Queen of England. Matter of fact, they ain't even giving it. Motherfuckers just walking in and saying, give me that shit. I'm taking this shit home, Mr. Mutombo. What you gonna do about it? I dare you say something. Mr. Mutombo said, no, I work for you. I work for you. So is it doing hard work when you ain't got nothing to show for it? Is it doing hard work when you ain't working for self? See, foundational black Americans, we work for our goddamn selves. We grind for our goddamn selves. We build for our goddamn selves. We're gonna take our reparations and create generational wealth for our own offspring. They're gonna take every single diamond, mineral, every drop of oil, and they're gonna create generational wealth for the oppressor's offspring. And they've been doing it for hundreds of years. So no, Steve Harley, we are not the same. We outwork everybody, we outgrind everybody, and that's why when you look around, we outshining everybody.
They the beat, they the rhythm, they the soul, they the hard work. We get our courage from them.
Whoa, gotta stop it again. We get our courage from them? What courage? The ones who fled? The Freedmen? The fleers? The tethers? How the hell you gonna say we get our courage from somebody who runs and we ain't never ran? How you gonna say we get our courage from somebody who hops on the goddamn plane and we don't hop on no goddamn plane? We may jump on the plane, but it's gonna go from one state to the next. They trying to go from one continent to the next. And by the way, 70% of them would rather go to a continent that is populated by a bunch of W's. They wanna go fly and go sit next to Karen. They wanna fly and go sit next to Ken. If I'm hopping on a goddamn plane, I'm flying to Chicago to kick it with my cousins. I'm flying to California to go kick it with my family. I'm going to a family reunion in Atlanta. These motherfuckers want a jock bar. Yep, it's still there. Yep, they want a jock bar. Do we got any terms called jock bar? Huh? They got, wait, hold on now. He said we get our courage from them. We is them. Nah, no hell no. No the fuck we not. Cause we ain't jock barring all over the earth. We ain't jock barring all over the continent. We ain't jock barring all over the village. We ain't jock barring all down the street. Shit, don't ever compare no foundational to a jock bar. Jock bar gon' jock bar. Foundational black Americans gon' build. And then when we stand still and we get what's ours and we represent what's ours, them same folks who jock buying come over here and try to take what's ours. Big difference between a foundational and a fleer. Big difference.
When you see them people, they look just like your family. They walk like us. They look like us. They got moves like us.
They walk like us.
It's just, you gotta
they talk like us.
And we gotta.
Why you think they walk like us and they talk like us? Why you think so? Oh, I thought you said we stole from them. Nah. See, receipt, man, FBA certified, we got receipts all day. You could rewind this goddamn clip back 1 minute ago, and he said that we steal from them. And now, Steve Harley, he's saying that they look like us, they walk like us, and they talk like us. You know why? I'll tell you why. The reason they talk like us is because they steal our slang. The reason why they walk like us is because they steal our bop. And the reason why they look like us is because they want that foundational black American style. But guess what? They're not the only ones. No, You could fly your ass on the plane, or you could jock bar all the way to the other side of the globe and they over there acting like us. Then you can refuel your plane and you can jock bar all the way to the other side of the globe and they over there acting like us. The whole goddamn planet is acting like foundational black Americans. So it ain't nothing new for a motherfucker to try to steal our style. We've been calling this shit out for the longest right here in certified black society. So no, motherfuckers ain't over there acting like us, walking like us, and talking like us because they's our friends. No, the motherfuckers over there acting like us, walking like us, and talking like us because they some thieves. They some haters. They some motherfuckers who want in on foundational black American reparations. And the more somebody feels that they can look like us, the closer they feel they can get to our money. The more a motherfucker feels they can talk like us, the more they can try to get to our money. And the more a motherfucker says how we all brothers, is the more closer they can try to get to our goddamn money. You're seeing it all over the world. And what I hear when Steve Harley keeps speaking is I hear flat blackness, and more flat blackness. And we know the only reason why they bring up flat blackness is because they're trying to get in on our reparations claim. Because if reparations was just about foundational black Americans, if reparations was just about the foundational black American family tree, if reparations was only about our lineage, heritage, and culture, that means that Mr. Jockba wouldn't get no goddamn money. So it's very, very convenient that Steve Harley and all the jockbars want to talk about how close we are. Y'all notice you don't see them out here. You see a guy from America trying to connect those dots, trying to tie that all in together. Because when you go over there, they not saying that. They over there saying, stay home, Makata. Stay home, stay away. Y'all's different. Y'all's gangbangers. Stay away from them when you go to America. Get next to Ken and Karen. That's what they saying. So why is Steve Hardley over there talking that shit? I'll tell you why. It's because he has seen what everyone else has seen, and that is that foundational Black Americans have delineated, we have separated, and now somebody is trying to prevent that delineation and that separation. Because the further we are away from them in the flesh, the further they away from our checks. Let me say that one more time and run it back. The further foundational Black Americans are away from all these other motherfuckers in the flesh, that's as far as they gonna be away from our checks. And we know this is all about the money. Reparations ain't nothing but a big ass lottery ticket. A lottery ticket that everybody's trying to get in on, and they'll say the craziest shit in the world so they can try to do it just like this.
My goal is to help bridge this gap because we got to touch base with them because they love y'all, man. You don't even know.
Lies.
Y'all that catch me out.
Bullshit.
Think y'all the lick. You know why? Because they know.
Oh, whoa, hold on. Caught his ass. Got him once again. Got him with that certified. Didn't we say we got receipts and we got spoilers? Didn't we say all we do is call out the shit that they say and then we throw it back at them? Don't get mad at FBA for calling your ass out. Get mad at yourself for saying the bullshit. Did y'all just hear what he said? Did you catch what he said? He said, first off, all that, we got to bridge the gap and I'm here to bring everybody together. That's that same shit Don Quarius Akon was saying, wasn't it? And I also have a bunch of TikTok tethers, and they're out there saying it. So if you look, you hear all types of tethers and tether friends, and everybody's out here saying how they want to bridge this gap. Nobody wanted to bridge the gap until we brought up reparations, y'all. Soon as we start talking about reparations, now everybody wants to bridge the gap. Before, they was like, man, fuck y'all, man. Shit, we over here doing our own thing. Okay, well, we gonna do our own thing. Only difference is that your own thing requires you making all the diamonds and the resources and giving that shit away to the Queen of England. Our own thing is for us getting this check that's owed to us. So you do your thing over there and you work all your labor for the whole world, and we gonna do our thing over here and we gonna get reparations for our goddamn self. But did you notice how he said they love y'all? They think y'all are a lick. Let me say that one more time. Yup. He said they love y'all over there, man. They think y'all are the lick. Now, didn't we just say that they think we a lottery ticket? Didn't we just say they see money when they see us? Didn't we just say that they want some of our foundational Black American ancestral reparations money? And then he comes out and just basically tells us, y'all the lick. Lick don't mean friend. Lick don't mean comrade. Lick don't mean buddy. Lick don't mean pal. Lick means you are a come up. You are a meal ticket. You are somebody that they can stand next to and get some of them dollars. One more time.
They think y'all the lick. 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 You know why? Because they know what you went through.
See, that's what he said. He said they see us as the lick, aka free money, aka a lottery ticket, aka a meal ticket, aka some shit they didn't earn. That's exactly what the fuck he said. All we do is we take these goddamn receipts and we slam that shit on the table like dominoes. And then they go and prove every single thing that we said. So foundational Black Americans just call the shot and then we sit back and watch that shit go in. That's all the fuck we do. You better go pull that shit on somebody else, Mr. Mutombo, Mr. Mutombo's homeboy, Mr. Mutombo's homegirl, Mr. Mutombo's home village, Mr. Mutombo's home island. You better go pull that shit on somebody else. You dealing with some certified foundational Black American intelligent people.
They know where them slave ship picked you up at. They know they brought you to a land. They know what they did to you. And y'all still over here shining. If we take this shine back over there and give them the love and teach them that dust, we'd have a powerful union.
So that's just another person trying to get in on the ancestral reparations that we are owed, and they're using all these other terms so they can get in on it. We see what you're doing, Stephanie Hardley. You need to worry about your daughter and why she's going from rapper to rapper, from actor to actor. That's what you need to worry about. You need to worry about her. We gonna be all right. You need to worry about your 15 ex-wives, because we gonna be all right. You need to worry about your 32 annulments, because we gonna be all right. Yes, the fuck we are. Always have been and always will. See, that's the difference. They're still over there trying to get their shit together. Matter of fact, they ain't even trying to get their shit together. They don't even know what together means. They're over there feuding, fighting, and bickering and fussing. They over there still making the same mistakes that they made hundreds of years ago. We over here creating a new wave. We're over here creating a new vibe. We're over here changing the game. This is what the certified foundational Black American Black grassroots is all about. That's the difference. So when we say nobody's like us, we out here chasing the money. They out there giving the money away. They out there standing on the resources. We out here creating resources. So every single piece that you look at, you see foundational Black Americans on a higher level. So when he sits there and says that they see y'all as a lick, he ain't even know. He snitched on his goddamn self. Hey, he thought he was saying something, right? He's trying to get all emotional because they understand y'all's. And we's them is. We all's one. That's what they try to do. They always try to come at us endearing. Remember, I say that shit. They always try to get into the emotions and try to tap into something. Whatever the fuck you trying to tap into emotionally, it ain't there. The only thing we tapped into is certified Black society and them cutting that check. Everything else, fuck to the knob. You not conning us with emotion. You not conning us with feelings. You not conning us with some type of brotherhood that never exists on the other side. See, that's what they try to do with foundational Black Americans. Y'all notice that? They always try to get us in some type of camaraderie with people who have no camaraderie towards us. The Black and Brown coalition don't exist in Mexico. Pan-Africanism don't exist in Africa. Then what the fuck are you doing? You running around here playing some game in your head and you the only player. We don't do that no more. Foundational Black Americans and certified Black society, we only standing next to each other. Because I'm going to tell you what I know is real. I'm going to tell you what I know is real and I'm going to tell you what I know is fake. Pan-Africanism is fake. Black and Brown coalition is fake. The People of Color coalition is fake. Foundational Black Americans are real. Foundational Black American lineage is real. Heritage, culture is real. This is inside of us. We walk with this everywhere we go. We've had this in our blood since we was born. So don't be mad when we standing next to something that is true. Don't be mad when we standing next to something that we know is authentic. And we took all that artificial shit, all that counterfeit shit, and we said, good, y'all can have that shit over there. If Dr. Kubar Vasquez wants to build an imaginary school for his imaginary Pan-Africanism, go right ahead. Go ahead, do it. Hey, have fun over there on that side of the fucking street. If Mr. Black and Brown coalition wants to go fight for every other Black and Brown coalition person that doesn't exist, fine. Go do that shit across the street on that side. Foundational Black Americans, certified Black society, we standing next to what we know, and that's each other. And they get mad when we stand together, because they want to put all these other people in between us so we can serve all these other agendas. And when the reparations money comes in, you're going to count it, and they're going to divvy that shit up 100 times. By the time it gets back to us, it'll be 5 quarters. And next thing you know, your reparations money is going to be getting spent on the other side of the planet. Family, y'all can already right now see that shit. Imagine 20 years from now when we start seeing studies about what happened to the reparations money. And you got brothers and sisters from the next generation saying, how the hell did FBA reparations end up in Uganda? How the hell did FBA reparations end up in Mexico? How the hell did FBA reparations money end up in the Ukraine? Your reparations check that is from your ancestors in which you're the offspring of ended up building schools in the Ukraine. That's exactly what they want to happen. And trust me, all of these other people would have no problem taking the money from us. They'd have no problem stealing the money from our ancestors, because a lot of them come around here and they don't respect our ancestors anyway. They don't respect our struggle and they don't respect us. So they ain't got no problem coming over here and saying, we all friends, we all brothers, we all Black and Brown. They ain't got no motherfucking problem saying that shit. If they gotta say that and that allows them to steal our reparations money, then they'll say that shit with a big ass smile. You'll see the biggest Black and Brown POC tether smile on their face, because they ain't got no fucking problem stealing from us. None at all. If they can come over here, play friend, act like a buddy, and take your money, that's a good day for them. That's how the whole world operates. And like I said, we have to view tethers and people who steal from foundational Black Americans as folks who exist in every single community. I mean everyone. I'm not talking about 80, I'm not talking about 90, I'm talking about 100%. Think of every single group that you can possibly imagine and understand. At least 90% of them want your money. Yup. And as long as you think like that, you gonna be good. Because that's going to keep that goddamn gate up. Walk around here and think, well, not everybody wants our money. No, that's a little harsh now, Black Alpha. Maybe only 2%. of the world wants our money. Everybody else respects slavery. They respect your ancestors. They want you to get reparations. No, the fuck they don't. They'll come over here and say, we are brothers. We're in this together. And then they'll take the food right off your fucking plate and then go give it to their family. How do you know? Because they've been doing it for years. Think about it, family. These same people run around and they steal laws and policies that are meant for us. You don't think they'll steal money that's meant for you? If a motherfucker will take a law, which is pen to paper, what the fuck you think they gonna do when it comes to money in bank? They gonna steal that shit ASAP. Because this is how they are. You're dealing with foundationals versus fleers. A fleer gonna run, hide, and steal. A foundational black American gonna stand and build. I don't give a fuck what Stephanie Hardley says. We know for a fact, an unequivocal fact, that FBA operates on a different playing field, and what we're willing to do, they're not willing to do. Where we're willing to go, they're not willing to go. What we're willing to endure, they're not willing to endure because it ain't in them. And anytime somebody doesn't have that pride in them, they're gonna do prideless shit. Anytime someone doesn't have the power in them, they're gonna do powerless shit. Now you all know, FBA, we prideful and we're powerful. And when you look around, there ain't too many motherfuckers out there who got that same resume. There ain't too many motherfuckers out here who think like us. You wanna know who else got the same resume as foundational black Americans? Other foundational black Americans. Speaking of tethers, did y'all see that video that came out with that big, wide circumference Freedmen forehead ass guy on the corner talking about he'll take money for reparations? That's those tethers right there. Man, all that bullshit about they get along with us and they love us, we know that's a goddamn lie. Can people please quit trying to tell us that shit? They act like facts ain't out here. They act like we don't have a whole plethora of stories of these folks coming out and openly disrespecting us. Quit trying to get us to believe otherwise. We know that these motherfuckers ain't got no love for us. We know that they get on their little TikTok videos, yes, all those TikTok tethers, and they talk all types of disrespect about us. They talk disrespect about our holidays, about our heroes, about our legends, about what we're going through now. We understand it's only come home brother when they can try to come to our money. We know this shit. So when they come around and they talk that, man, they love y'all. We don't need to be lectured or put on game about anybody in the diaspora. You can save that shit for the old generation. The new generation knows exactly how they feel. We know exactly where they stand, and we stand where the fuck we stand. And that's over here on the FBA side of things. So you had this big Freedmen forehead, tether hairline, circumference having ass dome dude talking. He's on the corner talking about reparations, and he's openly mocking us. And you could tell this guy is a non-FBA, but that's how they feel. And then you have the dominant society playing right along to that, because what do we say? The relationship between the dominant society and tethers is a very close, tight one, because the dominant society wants tethers to replace us, and they're absolutely okay with it. So whether that is African leaders in Africa taking $55 billion cosplaying us for Joe Biden, or it's just some big ass Freedmen forehead guy on the corner sitting there jock buying, okay, trying to take our reparations claim and make a joke out of it, from top to bottom, pillar to post, it's the same type of energy, and that type of energy is the energy that they have for foundational black Americans. So we don't need to get anybody to put us on game. There's nothing to understand here. It's everything that we already know, and we do what we've already been doing, and that's exposing that shit day to day. Listen to this clown shit.
For Black History Month, reparations, anybody want to donate? Oh my God, 20? I love you, sir. Thank you. Reparations? A 20? Thank you, man. Hey, to get a pass, you can say one time this year. All right, man? Hell yeah, my For Black History Month, reparations, anybody want to donate?
Okay, fuck dude. First off, he says for Black History Month, would anybody want to donate reparations? And you could say the N-word once this month, and the dominant society is cheesing and grinning and playing right along with that shit. That's the relationship between the dominant society and the tethers, family. That's the relationship right there. They're all in cahoots against foundational black Americans, and that only further confirms that we are the only ones on code, and we're the only ones they're afraid of. They're not afraid of tethers. They love tethers. Matter of fact, the same things that we know about tethers, they know about tethers. We know that the tethers are docile. They know that the tethers are docile. We know that the tethers are passive. They know that the tethers are passive. We know that the tethers are submissive. They know that the tethers are submissive. And we know that the dominant society can get the tethers to jump as high as they want them to, because we've all seen it play the fuck out. So this guy's on the corner mocking us and cosplaying our reparations. Once again, it's always our reparations. It's always in the forefront. You got a guy who is a homeless tether. That's how bad it is. You have a homeless tether, a guy that done jockball over here. He ain't got no jockball money in his jockball wallet. He probably ain't even got a wallet because his shirt ain't even fucking clean, and he's got a little can and he's accepting donations. He's over here mocking our reparations. So family, we got all the way from the African leaders sitting on diamonds, sitting on minerals and resources, all the way to a homeless tether trying to mock our reparations claim. That's the type of thought process that they're on. And we know that shit. That's why they can't stand when we call them that. So all these folks coming out here saying, man, them is your friends. Man, y'all should get along with them. They don't never talk about that right there, though. Do they ever talk about that right there? Do they ever talk about the spite, jealousy, and envy that we see all the time? How somebody can come over here and disrespect our reparations claim? Which, by the way, family, if you disrespect reparations, you're disrespecting our ancestors, because our ancestors are the ones who created this country. And if you disrespect Black History Month, you're disrespecting our ancestors, because Black history in this country provided them the opportunity to even be here. So we know the hate is immense. We know that they can't stand foundational Black Americans, and they're going to have to continue to get called out and exposed, and I don't give a damn who likes it. Real talk. So when you talk about where we're willing to go, what we're willing to do, what we're willing to endure, let me break that down in pure FBA slang. In other words, it's foundational Black Americans. We gonna take it there, and we gonna take it to a place that the average motherfucker couldn't stand through. And we gonna do that shit with style, because we do everything in style, including get our reparations. So that idea of 20 years from now, where our reparations checks end up building schools in the Ukraine, end up building schools in Ghana, end up building schools in South Africa, that's their fantasy. That's their wishing, their hoping, and their coping. But I'm gonna give you reality. And reality is, they ain't gonna get a motherfucking dime. They ain't gonna get a motherfucking penny. They ain't gonna get a motherfucking handshake, if you ask me. You come around and you try to leech, steal, tether, or blend onto foundational Black Americans, we will see your ass to the door ASAP. And once you get seen to the goddamn door, we gonna give you that G-check so motherfucking pure that you ain't never gonna wanna come back. See, when you deal with FBA, when you deal with Certified Black Society, we regulate so strong that all it takes is one time. Black folks in America, we only got 2 times. You wanna know what those 2 times are? I'm gonna tell you what they are. This is what we say around my way. We got 2 times, FBA. That is, that motherfucker got one more time, and that motherfucker done fuck with me for the last time. There may be 24 hours in a day, but there's only 2 times on our clock. And both of those 2 times will get your ass checked so good that you don't ever come back around. That's what we do over here. What we say in FBA world? Take that shit to your neck of the woods, because you couldn't live in ours. Ain't no goddamn way. So people like Stephanie Hardley and all these other folks, because mind you, Akon said the same thing. Come back to Africa, invest. And that's what they want to do. Everybody wants us to invest. Invest your reparations here. Invest your reparations there. They don't ever want us to invest our reparations here in America. You know, the country that we built. You notice that Steve Hardley, he was just sitting there saying he wanted us to go back. Family, they always do that same shit. They start off with about 2 minutes of friend, buddy, ally, emotion, feeling. And at the end of every statement, they always bring that shit back around to come back to Africa with your money. Now it's funny, when they was over here saying we was broke, we didn't have nothing, we couldn't build, we couldn't do this, we couldn't do that, then nobody ever want us to come back over. Soon as you start talking about getting your money, now everybody want us to come back. And my thing is this, how the hell I'm gonna come back to a place I ain't never been to? I'm gonna tell you where I'm gonna come back to. I'm gonna come back to the state of Georgia if I ever leave. I'm gonna come back to the state of Florida if I ever leave. Louisiana, beautiful place. I'll come back there. I'll come back to California. Loved it. I'll go back to New York. Loved it. Missouri, hell yeah. Loved it. Michigan, Minnesota, loved it. Arkansas, love it. I'll go back to any of these places. Alabama, I see you. The only place for a foundational Black American person like myself, or a foundational Black American person like yourself, is gonna go back to is another place in foundational Black America, 50 states, and we built every single last one of them. So, Mr. Stephanie Hardley and Akon Donquarius and every other person who wants us to get our reparations checks and leave the land that we built, they can take that fantasy fake Pan-African shit and run yourself off the block. Because we gonna be sitting here 10 toes down like we've always been, only this time we gonna be 10 toes down with so much money we got it counted twice. Now, before we go, speaking of Stephanie Hardley, this the same guy who's sitting trying to tell us, y'all stole from Africa, y'all's weak, they got the courage, we gets it from them. Burna Boy is a great guy, all that bullshit he just said, right? This the same motherfucker who done been married 39 times, got 55 ex-wives, A fake ass hairline. He had the fake FBA hairline before the Tether had the fake FBA hairline. You know that's a motherfucker. How the fuck did you get the fake FBA hairline in the 90s? Shit, if the wind blew too motherfucking hard, his hairline would roll up the back of his neck. And then when we called him out on that shit, and we finally exposed it, he was like, yeah, I cut my head bald, dog. You ain't cut your shit bald. Your shit went bald. That's what the fuck you did, baldy locks. Fuck out of here. You know it's bad when a man from America is out here with a tethered hairline. He all fucked up, don't know what he want to be. But anyway, speaking of Stephanie Hartley, we been know that he been on some chump shit, and a chump gonna be a chump, and we done seen that shit from a long time ago. So a lot of brothers and sisters have been exposed him. That's why his brand is so tainted, and that's why he trying to run over to Africa. And by the way, if he wants to go over there, go, have fun. We don't need a busted ass marriage counselor and a fake ass Richard Pryor, okay? We cool without you, partner. That's another thing. For all these folks who talk that shit, all of y'all can just go back the fuck over there. How about that one? It's easy. How about you get your ass on a plane and you go over there and you quit trying to come to foundational black Americans. And y'all notice the same people always trying to tell us to go back to Africa is the same motherfuckers whose brands are in the trash. They brands is tainted. They ain't making no money. Akon, Don Queries, he don't sell no records. So all of a sudden it's go back to Africa. Steve Harvey, don't nobody listen to his ass no more. Now all of a sudden it's we is them's. And every other motherfucker running around here. It seems like when your brand is fucked up and ain't nobody checking for you no more, you run your ass to the internet and tell FBA to take their reparations money and go back to Africa. Nah, we gonna take our reparations money and we gonna clown your ass when you go back over there. Well, anyway, his brand has been so motherfucking tainted, in the trash, in the dirt, and we've been clowning his ass for so long. People expose his fake ass marriage counselor because his paperwork is dirty too. Checkmate.
Mistress to his second wife. Yet, black people have anointed this motherfucker the oracle when it comes to black dating. This nigga wrote a book on dating. You on your third wife, homie.
Damn.
Why can't we pick it with all respect?
Damn.
You know what he's talking about.
Damn.
Who made Steve Harvey the voice? And now he met with Trump. Who give a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Well, he said is Donald Trump going on Family Feud?
Hey, when we say FBA clown your ass, FBA gonna clown your ass. Motherfuckers in the background laughing at him. And that's what they hate. They hate that shit. Trust me. Since he act like a tether so much, he's a tether wannabe, then we gonna clown his ass the same way we be clowning tethers. You on your third, fourth, fifth wife. That's probably why you want our reparations money. You trying to pay off some of your exes. That's why. I get it now. Oh shit. I get it now. I get it. Stephanie Hartley trying to get us to pay all his goddamn ex-wives off. That's what it is. Okay. Or you trying to go run that fucking game over in Africa. You trying to do that same shit Stacey Abrams did. Shit don't work in the USA, then fly your ass on TSA. Just get the fuck out of our way because we get into the money. Checkmate. We ain't playing with these folks, man. Like we said, when it comes to foundational black Americans, we get into the bad. And that's just one of the people trying to prevent it. So we got to watch out for all of those come home brothers. Those are those fake reparationists, as we say, Repa-Fakinists, Repa-Fakers. These are the people coming around trying to talk about our reparations like they got some type of feeling, some type of care. You ain't got no motherfucking care. I always say right here on the Black Alpha Network, facts, that 99.9% of people who say they're down for our reparations do not want us to get reparations. Or they say they want us to get reparations because they believe that they can try to get our reparations. And I also speak of, you got half people who want to steal our reparations and the other half who want to stop our reparations. And everybody who wants to stop our reparations, originally they want to steal our reparations, but when it dawned on them that we wouldn't let them steal our reparations, they turned into straight obstructionists. Do you feel me? They wanted to steal them, found out that they couldn't, and now they're trying to stop them. We done sent these motherfuckers through a wide range of emotions. Just within the last year, you seen every single face of these people. You seen the, can I get in on it? You seen the, oh, I can't get in on it. You seen the, well, how can I steal it? You seen the, well, I can't get it, so let me tell them to bring it over here. Now you're starting to see the, well, damn, they're not bringing it over here. They're not letting me get in on it. Flat blackness didn't work. Pan-Africanism didn't work. People of color didn't work. Minorities didn't work. Black and brown coalition didn't work. We all human beings didn't work. Well, goddamn, what can I do? Nothing. You can't do a goddamn thing but accept it. You may not like FBA. You may hate FBA. You may be jealous of FBA, but you're going to have to deal with FBA. That's exactly what you're going to have to do. And the whole world is starting to realize it. We done put the reject game on everything. Our reject game is strong. Everything they try to come up with, we done put the block on it. And now all they can do is sit back and watch us get the money. Cash reparations everywhere around me. Dollar bills, y'all. And speaking of dollar bills, we've made so much progress on reparations that all the Repa-Fakers are coming out and they're all out here trying to say just a bunch of shit that makes no sense. Once again, trying to confuse us because we've put money on the table. They're talking numbers now, and nobody would have ever thought that would happen. And our brothers and sisters out in California, they got that bubbling. You're starting to see it all the way across the whole country. Folks are talking numbers, and that's got a lot of people shook. Oh yeah. See, they don't mind when you're talking reparations and it's a hashtag. They don't mind when you're talking reparations and you write it on the sign or you got a megaphone at a protest. Reparations now, they don't give a fuck about that. But when you go to that negotiation table and you start talking about demands, you start talking about some decimal points, this shit get real. And family, shit done got real. So much to the point that now they're sending out all these other little minions. See, we done talked about the diaspora, Repa-Faker, who comes out and tries to get us to take our reparations elsewhere and send it overseas and help all the folks throughout the world. Fuck that. Now let's talk about a lot of these shills who are coming out. And they coming from all different parties. The Republican Party, the Democratic Party, Independent, it don't matter. Everybody has their eyes on foundational Black American certified Black society dollar bills. So you got folks coming and they're saying, well, you know, the money that y'all talking about is too much. Can we bring the number down? Let's not talk about the money. Let's not talk about numbers. Let's just say reparations and not do shit. That's that HR 40 shit, right? Where you can study the shit for 229 years, but never actually do something. That's what you're starting to see. You're seeing a lot of people who want to talk reparations, but they don't want to give reparations. They don't want to negotiate reparations. They don't want to speak about anything with money involved, okay? That's what they're trying to do to us. But we have refuted that, we have rejected that, and we keep sending it right back to them and saying, no, it starts with money. Mind you, family, and I always say this right here on the Black Alpha Network, certified BLACK. Know that. I always say, reparations starts with cash payments, not ends. Not in the middle, the beginning. We start at cash payments and then we work our way up. We don't go through all this other shit and then get to cash payments at the end. If you put cash payments at the end, you ain't getting cash payments. You got to come in through the door and say, this is the non-negotiable. We talking about money. And if you ain't talking about money, you ain't talking about reparations. And if you ain't talking about reparations, your ass is getting removed. So the very fact that they're talking about numbers throughout the country and certified Black society is telling them this is what it's going to have to be. Now everybody's coming out trying to derail that. They're trying to turn it into something else. They want to say, well, let's not talk money. And if we do talk money, can we bring the price down? So you see a lot of shills popping up and they saying a lot of bullshit. And we've been calling them out every step of the way. Check this out.
Please explain further. Why do you think San Francisco's $5 million proposal is excessive?
I think it's really critical in determining what the amount of a reparations bill should be, that we have a very careful foundation for calculating that sum. And I don't believe that there's been any serious explanation as to how the San Francisco task force came up with that number, that figure. And of course, when people hear that figure, it sounds extraordinarily large. It might be a legitimate figure if there was a legitimate basis for calculating it.
There's an absolute legitimate way of calculating it, the same way that the money has been calculated for every other group who gets reparations, not to mention the groups who get foreign aid. Did anybody have a way to calculate all the billions of dollars that went to the Ukraine, or did they just do it? You see, when it comes to us, it's always, we don't know yet. We can't figure it out. There's always a hurdle or a blockade that they put in front of us, and we spend so much time hopping over these hurdles and blockades. That is a tactic for them to stall us, but we don't get stalled. And then when they say it's excessive, no the fuck it ain't. What's excessive is sending money to people who aren't even from America, while people here in America do not get the debt that's owed to them. So we call plenty of bullshit. And then when they say feasible and accessible means for everybody, okay? When they start talking about something is accessible, something is feasible, they're basically saying, let's give this to every single person on the planet, except for foundational Black Americans. That is the diluting process in which they always try to do to us. Take what we do and slowly add other people, no matter where they from, Democrats, Republicans, people of color, diaspora, whoever the fuck. Always try to add new people to it so we get less than what we're owed. And we're saying nobody can come in because we want it all in full. Moving on. More reparations ops and more Repa-Fakers are coming out day to day every time you turn on your television and every time you go down your timeline. You see the Democratic shills have been sending them out every day. The Republicans have been sending them out every day. And like I said, even the independents, because when it comes to reparations for foundational Black Americans, they're all on the same page. Republicans, Democrats, independents, they won't agree on shit. Except for they all want to stop foundational Black Americans from receiving our money. And like I've always said, and I will continue to say, 99.9% of people who say that they support reparations for us really are against us getting reparations, and they'll do and they'll say anything to try to derail us. Do y'all remember that politician lady? I think her name was Marie or something Williams. That real loopy lady, I think she's from California. She ran on fake reparations platform a few years ago, but she used to be talking about unicorns and the stars and rainbows and all types of wild shit, completely out of her gourd. Y'all remember her? Now she says she's running for 2024 election. Why you think all of a sudden they want to dust her off and bring her in? I'm going to tell you why they're trying to do that. Because she is someone trying to run interference again. See, they love giving us politicians that run on reparations platforms, but in reality, that's just to confuse us or to stifle us. So be very careful of the politicians who come out and say, well, you know, I support reparations for African Americans and I want to help y'alls out. What they want to do is they want us to hand over our keys. I made this analogy a few years ago. I always said reparations is like a designated driver. They want you to hand over your keys to them because once you give them your keys, now they control where you're going. See, when we're driving and we got our shoulder to the side and we hitting them goddamn three-wheel motions, we go wherever the fuck we want to go. We determine our own future. Once you start seeing these little Democratic shield candidates pop up and they claim that they're running on a platform of reparations and you give them your keys, now they're going to take us wherever the fuck they want us to go. And typically they're going to take our reparations and give them to everybody. That's why it is very, very important that we keep everything to ourselves. It's very important that we keep everything in-house, and it's very, very important that we don't give our keys to none of these Democratic shills who claim that they're running on a campaign of reparations. So they're starting to dust off all these old candidates, and you're going to start seeing all these W's popping up, and they're going to be claiming that they're running on reparations. No, they're not running on reparations. They're trying to take our reparations so they can control the conversation.
I propose a plan for reparations for slavery. Just as the German nation has paid $89 billion in reparations to Jewish organizations since World War II, and just as the United States has paid $20,000 in reparations to descendants of those who were in Japanese internment camps during World War II, I propose a $100 billion plan of reparations to be paid over 10 years. I submit that we should choose a council of esteemed African American leaders who were given over a 10-year period $10 billion a year, and this money should be dispersed as they deem most appropriate in order for economic and educational revitalization to be achieved within the Black community.
Hell no. What the fuck was that? $100 billion over 10 years? And they're going to give the money to esteemed Black leaders and they can disperse it as they choose? Hell no. Listen to the tricks all in that conversation. First off, America could wipe their ass with $100 billion. $100 billion for reparations over 10 years? Fuck no. And then give it to esteemed leaders? So basically, they're going to take $100 billion and give that shit to Al Sharpton. They're going to give that shit to Vanessa Jones. They're going to give that shit to Jesse Jackson. That ain't nothing but the Democrats doing their same old con game. That's the Democrats running that same hustle on us again. And if you notice at the end, she threw education in there because you know it can't be some type of Democratic ploy without throwing in education. So AKA the HBCUs who are going to fly in all these non-FBAs, they're going to get funded with your reparations money that Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton gave to you. Hey, she said they're going to disperse it as they choose. So Al Sharpton's going to disperse our reparations money to us? That's who's going to divvy our reparations money up, is Al Sharpton. Because trust me, when they say esteemed leaders, they're not talking about the Dr. Claude Andersons of the world. No, they talking about the Al Sharptons of the world. Al Sharpton's perm is going to get $100 billion. And he going to keep all that shit for his activator. Fuck to the nah. That was trick bag all motherfucking day. And what they do, family, is they spy on what we say. They listen to what we say. See, the shit is sound real nice. And a lot of folks will say, man, that sounds good. That sounds good. She said, we gonna get some money just like they got money. Just like the Japanese got money. Man, this is real good now. And then when you peel back the layers, you hear $100 billion. Hell, the Ukraine's got more than $100 billion in 1 year. So she wants to take our 400-year experience of chattel slavery and beyond and give us $100 billion for the shit. That's like you work 24 hours straight, you pull 7 shifts, and they pay you in food stamps. That's basically what it is. She's trying to give us food stamp reparations. And then give it to Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton to divvy this shit out. And throw in an HBCU in there. So you know it's got to be some Democratic shit when you're talking about Al Sharpton, $100 billion, and HBCUs. That got Democrat written all over it. Now mind you, when you start talking about the Ukraine, it's $100 billion in a week. And it's houses, and it's allowances, and it's enclaves, and it's stipends. They get the whole 9. But yet foundational Black Americans get that typical Democratic shield con game. You see what we talking about? That is your diaspora Repa-Faker. That is your Democratic shield Repa-Faker. And now that's your fake Democratic presidential candidate Repa-Faker. They sit back and they watch what we do. They watch what we say. They spice it up. They put a ribbon on it, make it sounds real nice. And then they go and try to fool folks. But unfortunately for them, when you fucking with certifieds, you dealing with some intelligent Black people and we don't fall for the games. And man, it's getting so real out here in these streets and we got so much momentum and we on fire right now that even Roland Martin done came out and start talking about Black first. Hey, and then Roland Martin's trying to come out and make it sound like he been saying it for years. He been trying to make it look like he been on that B1 train and he ain't. He been the main one talking about y'all BBB1s and FBAs and all that extra shit he be saying. So now, not only are we pushing the line when it comes to reparations, we got everybody trying to walk like us and talk like us. And trust and believe, family, they're only trying to walk like us and talk like us. So down the line, eventually, they can try to take our keys and be that designated driver for reparations. Watch out for all of these reparations designated drivers. They're saying, hey, we gonna do this for y'all. We gonna do that for y'all. But Black first, y'all. So now when Roland Martin's out here talking about Black first, this is all for them to appease us. This is all for them to sound endearing so we can take our keys and say, here's our reparations keys, Mr. Democrat. Here's our reparations keys, Mr. Democratic shield. Here's our reparations keys, Mr. President. Go ahead and take our reparations movement wherever you want. That's what it is. They're trying to get us to hand over our keys and we ain't letting them. So now they're sending out people like Roland Martin to talk about Black first. There's always a rhyme and a reason, but this time we see their ass.
And then when it became about diversity, then it was like, oh, so we're going to include Black and Latino and Asian, Native American, gay, women. And so all of a sudden you start seeing all these folks who are chief diversity officers or heads of DEI don't look like us. And then you start saying, well, what the hell is this diversity, equity, inclusion?
Hold up. So now Roland Martin is trying to act like he's against All Lives Matter and all these other groups. All you do is cape for them other groups 24/7. All you do is try to put them other groups above us 24/7. But now Roland Martin all of a sudden is talking about everybody else comes after foundational Black Americans. He a goddamn lie. Listen.
I spoke at Coca-Cola. I gave a keynote address. This was several years ago, and they asked me, and they said, how would you, if you were talking about diversity, how do you see it? I said, Black first. I said, Black first. I said, Black first. I said, Black first. I said, then everybody else.
You a goddamn lie. Why these folks act like cameras don't exist? Why they act like we ain't got them captured on audio? We hear, we see every goddamn thing. They literally think they can sit in front of a camera, say some shit for 10 years and ain't nobody gonna see him for it. He think he can sit there and say Black last for 20 years and now all of a sudden on the 20 year and first day it's Black first. No, you ain't been saying no damn Black first. Stop playing with us, Roland. I know what you're trying to do. You trying to get ends. You trying to get down. That's why a couple weeks ago he was trying to call out the boule. This is the same guy who was calling out the boule and now he talking about Black first. You can't be boule and Black first. Okay, because the boule is black last and they W's first, massa first, zaddy first. So you can't be both. So the very fact that somebody is claiming boule today and black first tomorrow lets you know they trying to get in, lets you know they trying to trick us, lets you know they trying to con us. And the main reason why they're trying to con us is so they can take our reparations claim away and they can turn it into whatever bullshit that they on. Once again, you got these folks out here saying they about reparations, but really they just Repa-Faking, and we calling they ass out today. And calling out names, it don't just stop with Ho Lynn Martin. Nah. We're gonna go further than Ho Lynn Martin. We're gonna talk about more tricks, more symbology, more gestures that they're trying to do to either get us to stop talking about reparations or so they can try to steal reparations. And family, I got to go there. I didn't want to have to talk about this, because y'all know this is the one subject that just gets me riled up, gets me stirred up, gets me fired up, and I just can't stand it. I don't even want to hear it, but I have to talk about this because this is the black grassroots and the new black media, and it comes around once a year, and they've been doing the same thing for 60 years at this place, and folks thank themselves for getting their asses whooped, and they thank police officers for whooping their ass, and it's the whole nine. And the anniversary was just here the other day, so every single politician done flew down to this place to go have another mock celebration, to go have another reenactment of the civil rights era. If you don't know by now, y'all know it's the one place that pisses Black Alpha off more than anything, and that's Selma. That's Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma. John Lewis been gone for years, and they still marching on Selma. Martin Luther King been gone for years, they still marching on Selma. Every single Democrat politician, every single Republican politician, they all flock down there and tell black folks, oh, it ain't about reparations, it ain't about justice, it's about voter rights. Joe Biden went down there. I mean, shall I say he crawled down there and rolled down there because he can barely walk his goddamn self, okay? John Lewis can walk better than him, and John Lewis ain't even around no more. So go figure that. Joe Biden goes down there, Mr. You ain't black. He goes down to Selma. He gives the same Selma speech that Barack Obama gave, Bill Clinton gave. Hell, Hillary Clinton wasn't even president. She gave a damn speech. Kamala Harris came down there last year. Her hair was all fucked up, blowing all over the place. She damn near fell off her high heels, all types of shit. She was cold, looked like she didn't want to be there. But they all flock on down to Edmund Pettus Bridge and give the same bullshit ass speech just so they can take foundational black Americans' minds off of policies that actually benefit us. So, your latest bullshit ass anniversary of Edmund Pettus Bridge, thank you for whooping my ass, missile. The same shit happened just the other day. And Joe Biden goes down there, and family, I promise you, he starts talking about $55 billion to Africa. Now, I've always been saying it right here on the Black Alpha Network. Smash that like button and please subscribe if you haven't already. And if you are subscribed, let's keep the Block Party roast continuing. Joe Biden went over to all the little African leaders. They shook hands and he made a deal. He said this: I'm going to act like you guys are foundational black Americans. I'm going to give you $55 billion and we're all going to just pretend that that's reparations for FBA. And they thought we would fall for that shit because there was a time when black folks was off code and they would fall for that type of shit. You know, the yes we can era. Well, we said that $55 billion ain't reparations and those Africans ain't foundational black Americans. So I don't know who you think you giving that money to, but it ain't to us. And how do we know that that was one big con game where they were trying to give Africans our reparations? And by the way, the Africans played right along. They were like, thank you, brother. It was so messed up what happened to me in Alabama. So bad what happened to me in Florida and Carolina. And they asses ain't never been to Florida, Alabama, or Carolina. They just had on their FBA mask and was saying, thank you for the money. Yeah, whole nother story for a whole nother day, but we called all that out. So Joe Biden gets on the bridge in Selma and he starts talking about, we invested $55 billion to Africa and voter rights. See, same shit we was just talking about. Didn't we say, you know, it's some Democratic con game shit when they start throwing in little keywords like Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, justice, HBCUs, $100 billion, esteemed leaders. And when they start talking about voter rights, then you know the Democrats are in the building. See, they've been trying to feed us voter rights over everything. You can walk down the block, knock on every black person's door that you know, and ain't nobody in here talking about no damn voter rights except for a Democratic Shield. And the Democratic Shield's got that handed to them from the Democratic Party. So they try to go down there and have these mock celebrations of Selma, and quite frankly, nobody's even listening anymore. The average person didn't even know this shit was happening. How many times do they have these wheelchairs on Washington marches? And black folks don't even give a fuck. How many times do they have these civil rights reenactments and black folks don't give a fuck? How many times do they make these slave movies and black folks don't give a fuck? And how many times do they go down to Edmond Get My Ass Whooped Bridge and black folks don't give a fuck? It is coming crystal clear to them that this is a new era, this is the dawn of a new day, and the black grassroots is on a completely different time frame. So none of those gestures or symbologies from the past are going to move us an inch. The only thing we care about is reparations. Cut the check. So you can come up with every little Repa-Faker tactic that you can possibly find. You can go get every single Repa-Faker that you can possibly get, and they can sell us any bullshit ass lie that they want to. Certified black society ain't going for the bullshit.
Everyone should know the truth of Selma. 600 believers put faith in action to march across that bridge named after the Grand Dragon of the KKK. They're on their way to the state capital of Montgomery to claim
You ain't black.
fundamental right to vote. They force the country to confront the hard truths and to act to keep the promise of America alive. The right to vote, to have your vote counted, is the threshold of democracy and liberty. With it, anything's possible. Without it, without that right, nothing is possible. And this fundamental right remains under assault. We know that we must get the votes in Congress to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights.
The John Lewis Voter Rights Act. First off, how many times did he say vote? He's like, to vote. If you vote, vote, vote. And black, vote. You ain't black, vote. If you ain't black, you don't vote. Vote black. Vote if you're not black. That motherfucker said vote like 100 times in 2 seconds. Damn near started gagging, can barely stand the fuck up, leaning on the podium, don't want to be there, and ain't fooling no goddamn body. He did all that shit in 30 seconds. Damn shame. So they keep trying to hit us with the, go vote. Voter rights is important. And we sitting there saying, no, reparations. Reparations right goddamn now. Yeah, motherfucking yeah, cut the check. And that's what they don't like to hear. They want to continue to feed us that. They want to talk about the John Lewis Voter Rights Act, the same way with the George Floyd Act, all these names that they want to put on these things. Breonna Taylor Act, because that's what supremacy does. Supremacy harms you and then gives your people a bill with your name on it, and half of these bills don't even get passed. They sit on the goddamn floor of wherever the fuck. Or these bills do get passed and they go to everybody except for black folks. And we in the black grassroots identified all that shit and we ain't playing it. So we're going to continue to keep on pushing that line and continue to keep on calling this shit out and let motherfuckers know time after time again, fuck your symbols, cut the check. Fuck your gestures, cut the check. And fuck your speeches, cut the check.
Advancement Act and the Freedom to Vote Act.
Vote again.
I made it clear. I will not let a filibuster obstruct the sacred right to vote.
Vote again. Vote again. Okay, that's enough of that. Man, you want to talk about wheelchairs on Washington? You want to talk about wheelchairs on Edmund Pettus Bridge? Can Edmund Pettus Bridge please just fall into the goddamn water so we don't have to sit back and watch that shit no more? It's getting pathetic to see people who are 987 years old crawl across a goddamn bridge. All right, that's enough. All right, I don't want to see T-Rex or a Velociraptor crawl across no goddamn bridge and start talking about thank you for whooping my ass and voter rights. If you was fighting for voter rights in 1960, whatever the fuck, and you're still talking about voter rights in 2000 plus, then your ass needs reparations. And these people will never accept that. They'll never identify that because these are all the COONs and all the zaddies of those COONs. And their number one goal is to stop people like you and I from getting to that money. But they can never stop you and I from getting to that money because you and I are not like them old ass dinosaurs of yesterday or them old Negroes from before. This is a new era, a new breed, and they are not ready for it. And family, as if the wheelchairs on Washington, the goddamn walkers on Selma, all the T-Rexes and the dinosaurs, as if that shit ain't funny enough, we got some receipts too, you know, because that's all we do. We deal in receipts. Everything we do is about receipts. We don't just say shit, we prove it. Separate the real from the fake. So when you got Jimmy Crow Joe Biden running around here, on one hand he's saying, I marched with black people back in 1302. Because you know he old as fuck. But one minute you got Jimmy Crow Joe saying how he marched with black people way back in the day during the Civil Rights era. But the people in the Civil Rights era said they never saw Jim Crow Joe. One minute Joe Biden says that he used to help try to integrate all the schools and all the swimming pools. But the people at them schools and swimming pools said they never saw Joe Crow. So we at the Black Alpha Network, the one and only, certified 100, we pulled out some receipts on Mr. Jimmy Crow, and we actually show you how one minute he's Uncle Joe Biden, and then the next minute he's Jim Crow Joe Biden. But in reality, Jim Crow Joe Biden is just putting on an act of Uncle Joe Biden, and only Democratic shills believe this shit. But if you ask us, they all a bunch of goddamn fools, and we all gonna expose them every single second. So with that said, talk to us, Jimmy Crow. Tell us how anti-black you really are. 1987.
When I marched in the Civil Rights Movement, I did not march with a 12-point program. I marched with tens of thousands of others to change attitudes. And we changed attitudes.
He lied to voters, according to the New York Times, quoting aides of Biden's, about having marched in the Civil Rights Movement.
I got involved in the Civil Rights Movement. I got involved in desegregated movie theaters. They organized voter registration drives from the time I got involved as a high school kid in the Civil Rights Movement. But I was a kid involved in the Civil Rights Movement, desegregating restaurants and movie theaters in my state. From the time I got involved as a kid in the Civil Rights Movement, sit-ins and desegregating restaurants. And I got involved in the Civil Rights Movement just as a kid. And that's why I got so deeply involved in my community with the Civil Rights Movement. When I sat in black churches on the east side of Wilmington getting ready to, and by the way, next to two Jewish rabbis, getting ready to go out and desegregate movie theaters in Delaware. I came out of the Civil Rights Movement. I started off in black churches, and we'd go from there to desegregate movie theaters. For real, I got involved in the Civil Rights Movement. From the time I've been 18 years old, I've been involved in causes from the Civil Rights Movement. Got involved in the Civil Rights
Receipts.
Movement, desegregating restaurants, that kind of thing. Coming out of the Civil Rights Movement and being involved in the Jewish
Bullshit.
community as a kid in the Civil Rights Movement. I got involved in the Civil Rights Movement and getting ready to go out and desegregate restaurants and movie theaters. That's what got me involved in civil rights as a kid. I got very engaged, in my case, in the Civil Rights Movement.
Quote, more than once, advisors had gently reminded Mr. Biden of the problem with this formulation. He had not actually marched during the Civil Rights Movement, and more than once, Mr. Biden assured them that he understood and kept telling the story anyway. That is really, really weird.
No, the fuck it ain't. That's really, really anti-black. That's really, really W supremacy. That's really, really a bunch of bullshit. And the same bullshit that we've been calling out in the black grassroots for a long time. Ain't nobody surprised. That's Jimmy Crow Joe Biden. That's Mr. You Ain't Black. That's Mr. Come here, boy. That's Mr. I don't want my kids growing up in the racial jungle. So all these motherfuckers running around here acting surprised like they don't understand the anti-black racism that Joe Biden has been exhibiting since the year 1304, because he's that motherfucking old. They out here acting and they out here fronting, and it's no coincidence that we call them a bunch of fakers, because they faking. Only motherfuckers who believe Joe Biden is not anti-black are other Democrats. And typically they're black Democrats, and we call them Democratic shills, and they're living on the Democratic plantation, and they're picking Democratic cotton for the Democratic masses. And we've been calling out every last one of them motherfuckers out for a very, very long time. So on one hand, he's Mr. I love black people, but in reality, he's Mr. I hate black people. On one hand, he's Mr. I help black people, and in reality, he's Mr. Lock black people up. And certified black society is gonna let the truth be known, the truth be exposed, and they just gonna have to deal with it constantly. Damn, man, ain't nothing like a Democratic shield. Hell nah. You wanna talk about cognitive dissonance? People who do not give a damn about the truth. You wanna talk about incredulity? People who do not want to focus on the truth. A Democratic shield got all that shit in one. When you start talking about Massa and Zaddy and Jim Crow Joe Biden or Barack Obama, man, they'll be in that motherfucker trying to fight you. Matter of fact, y'all seen that video with that old ass man, and he was trying to fight, I think it was his grandson, about fucking Barack Obama, and he was like, don't you be saying that, motherfucker. Don't, boy, Bush took it that goddamn war. That man was about to fight his his own goddamn child over Barack Obama. So that lets you know there's far too many stories in the black community about family members either not wanting to talk to you, getting mad at you, or getting upset with you because you say something about the Democrats. I told you, they think the Democrats is a race. It is not a race, okay? I know you a coon and you love Massa and the plantation, but Massa nor the plantation or your coon ass whiskers, it is not a race. It is just a political party. You go down and you vote, but you don't have to get on your knees and pray. Point motherfucking blank. Moving on, family. And typically, whenever you see a reparations op, you see a lineage op. They typically move hand in hand, side by side. It's the people who are trying to hijack our reparations movement and the people who are trying to hijack our lineage movement. Because at the same time, when we were self-identifying and classifying ourselves so we can get the reparations, you had all these people coming out the woodwork, starting to say, we's not really blacks, we's got feathers. We's not really blacks, we's American descendants of Democrats. We's not really blacks, we's the fraudmen. That's that ADOS, that fraudman shit, and all these people running around with feather hashtags and all that shit. Y'all know. It's all of that type of shit. And these people typically move hand in hand because they want reparations to be all about them. They want the lineage to be all about them. They're willing to sink the whole ship just so they can get their agenda across. And I always say this is a movement of the collective. We all have to move together. I'm on record saying it's going to take all of us to get to where we're going. Not some of us, not a few of us, not a few people who want all the spotlight, all the shine, all the recognition. Half these people, they all say things like they're the mama of the community, or they started the movements, or they get mad at the new black media for not covering them. Man, it's all of that love and hip hop ratchet shit. They want ratchet reparations. They messy as hell. It's the same people. It ain't hard to identify who's in it for all of us and who's in it for self. If you in it for self, we ain't rocking with you. But if you in it for everybody, we're going to rock together. Easy. 1, 2, 3. That's how we're going to make it happen. And I'm telling you, family, when it's all said and done, all of us certified black society, we're going to be standing side by side because we move as a family. These other people who move as individuals, they're going to get passed up so far that they won't even be a memory. Trust and believe that, because that's how it's always been. We remember the brothers and sisters who stood up on the plantation. We do not remember those who were too scared to run from Massa. We remember the brothers and sisters who showed courage and they reconstructed after slavery. We don't remember the ones who were scared and stayed next to Massa. We remember the brothers and sisters who took to the streets to get some real civil rights, to get some real black empowerment in the 1960s and 70s. We don't remember the ones who were too scared. So I say that to say this. 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, you're going to remember all of us, the certified 100, FBA, B1s, because we stood up, we stood tall, and we stood together. That's the most important part. And everybody else right now who wants all the shine and wants to say that they're the lieutenant, general, colonel of the movement, ain't nobody gonna remember they ass the same way don't nobody remember the COONs from back in the day. Multiply. But let me add this, family, and I'd be remiss if I didn't. So when you had Joe, Jim Crow, Biden talking about Selma and all that other shit that nobody was paying attention, Donald Trump, Mr. MAGA, Mr. Vote Blue, no matter who, anybody but Trump, Mr. Him, okay? He came out and he gave a speech talking about his next election because he's running in 2024. And he came out and he wasn't talking none of that everybody matters. He wasn't talking all everybody's equal. He wasn't talking about we got to bring in 2 million folks and get voter rights for black people, but everybody else going to get tangibles. No, Donald Trump was singing something a little different. And a lot of black folks heard Donald Trump's speech and they started side-eyeing Joe Biden like, hold up. And they started side-eyeing that Democratic Party like, hold up. And then the Democratic Party seen the black voters side-eyeing their ass like, hold up. Because while Joe Biden crawled his ass off that stage and he immediately walked away or crawled away or rolled away, and he went ahead and he signed some new laws to bring in 11 million new illegals, Donald Trump was talking about this.
When I'm back in the White House, the very first reconciliation bill I will sign will be for a massive increase in Border Patrol and a colossal increase in the number of ICE deportation officers.
Damn. The first day.
And I want to thank the Border Patrol. These are incredible people.
And I want to thank ICE, and in particular, I want to thank Brandon Judd, Border Patrol, and Tom Holman, Central Casting. He's Central Casting. Under my leadership, we will use all necessary state, local, federal, and military resources to carry out the largest domestic deportation operation in American history.
The largest deportation process in American history. Let me ask this to the family. How does that sound to y'all? Does that sound good to y'all? A massive deportation process, the biggest one in American history. I gotta tap in with the family. Certifieds, let me know how that make y'all feel. Cause to me, I'm sorry, that sounded real damn good. That sounded a lot better than Voter Rights Act and Alvin Pettis Bridge. It sounded way fucking better than that. Yeah. So when we start talking about reparations, you start talking about immigration, you understand the way those two things come across each other. I always say you can't be pro-immigration and pro-reparations because people like Joe Biden and the Democrats want to give your reparations money to the immigrants. For real, for real. So when you start hearing Donald Trump talking about the massive deportation, ICE spending money on his first day, he didn't even say his third, his second, none of that. He said on his first day. Now, mind you, when Joe Biden became president, on his first day, he signed laws for everybody except foundational Black Americans. Donald Trump says on his first day, he's spending money on ICE and he getting some folks up out the country. Now, as a certified foundational Black American freedman, I don't have to worry about ever being deported because we are the only non-immigrants and non-deportables. So this is a subject that I could sit back and watch and see that it only benefits our reparations more. Yes, it does. Let me tell you how anti-immigration benefits pro-reparations, because you can't be pro both at the same time. When you start talking about a president that wants to give all of your money to everybody except an American, the reparations money is going to get played into the, well, we don't know where it's going to come from now. Ukraine, $100 billion. Afghan, $100 billion. Refugees, $100 billion. But when you start talking about a mass deportation and a bunch of folks who are getting ran about the country that this country spends hundreds of billions of dollars on that are illegal folks, then that's a whole lot of reparations money just sitting there. And all we got to do is be thorough, intelligent brothers and sisters like we already are and go claim the money. Once you claim the money, you take the money. That's how you get it done. So while we sit here and see all of our reparations money go over to every single other country on the planet, and yet you still see people saying we don't know where the money's coming from. Nah, it's about time we start pitting these two people against each other, these two parties against each other, these two candidates against each other, and tell them whoever cuts the biggest check gonna get our attention. If you don't cut our check, then you ain't getting no votes. And that's why we say no tangibles, no vote. And when you put that on the line, reparations is coming right behind it. Guarantee it. So it's all about negotiations and it's all about business. And once you got that business mind, you get things done. We don't operate off of feelings. We don't operate off emotions. Motherfuckers got to leave that shit at the door. Whenever you come to the forefront and you start speaking on reparations, you start speaking on lineage, heritage, and culture, you got to be thorough. You got to be the personification of thorough. And that's exactly what we are. We're not going there getting all emotional saying we need money because it hurt what they did to us. See, they used to do that shit back in the day. Y'all remember all the time when black folks would go in front of a panel and they get all emotional, start crying and fussing and shit, and then the whole point would be lost. We ain't on that shit no more. I'm seeing my brothers and sisters out here at these reparations task force, and they're thorough as fuck. They're coming down speaking truth to power. Absolutely well-read, absolutely articulate, clever as hell, and they can't con you. See, when you're articulate and you're intelligent, they can't fool you. See, they love getting people who are ratchet, people who are unintelligent, and people who are unqualified. My brothers and sisters ain't on that. And that's how we gotta be. Thorough, precise, and to the point. Ain't no games, ain't no filters. Say what needs to be said in a real clean, just fashion and get the job done. Because we are in the 11th hour and it's all about reparations. It's reparations right now. Not reparations later, not reparations 2 weeks from now, not reparations 10 years from now. We got to get it today, and that's how we got to operate. So I was seeing some of my brothers and sisters out there in California putting it down. And when I say they was putting it down, I mean they was putting it down. Some ops showed up, some Repa-Fakers showed up, but them Repa-Fakers didn't get no shine because them real certifieds was too goddamn strong and too goddamn thorough. Listen to this sister right here and notice how she came up, she got to the point, she spoke facts, she spoke truth to power, and then she walked away and let her facts rest on their own.
Good
Hello, my name is Courtney McKinney. I live here in Sacramento, and I have two likely imperfect points, but my intention is to contribute in the spirit of help, healing, accessibility, and productivity. The first is that we shouldn't be paying taxes. Our ancestors were violently forced from West Africa to build this economy for free for over 200 years and then terrorized for 100 more and counting. Our taxes have been paid, and we are still owed a significant debt. California should immediately suspend tax collection for Black people, especially considering how the state continues to oppress Black people using tax money through policing and debt collection. We shouldn't be paying for that. Suspending taxes for Black people in Cali won't break the budget since we constitute a small fraction of the population, and it provides a model for options at the federal level, which is needed since Black people are audited and harassed by the IRS at disproportionately high rates, stripping more wealth. This is an actual beginning for the path that America needs to take to begin to repay its debts. The second request I have is for public talking points and in general for this process to be made much more accessible. Please give us talking points, maybe 5 max, that synthesize the priority points of why reparations are needed in a simple, digestible way, easy enough to talk to with children. Examples might be that there's precedent for reparations.
Damn.
For example, when the U.S. paid victims of Japanese internment. Another might be bullet points for the proposed options and rationale for reparations eligibility. These are just examples and could be a great way to engage the public as has been spoken about as needed. So please help us help you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming out today.
Damn, hey, I want to stand up and cheer. I want to give her a standing ovation. Applaud to that sister and certified salute from the Black Alpha Network, the one and only. Big facts. You notice how the lady tried to cut her off at the end. See, family, we only got so much time. We're going to have to start being our own representatives. We got to be our own advocates. We got to represent our own advocacy groups. Nobody else. This tug of war for control over our reparations is always going to be intact. They are never going to stop trying to stop us from getting our reparations. They're always going to try to add some tethers. They're always going to try to add some ops. They're always going to try to add some minions, try to mix it up, try to confuse us. We know the whole game. At this point, it ain't about calling out the bullshit. It's about countering the bullshit. And that's how you do it. Just like that sister did right there. They only want to give us just a small amount of time to talk. So when you get in front of these people, like our brothers and sisters are doing, as I said before, I'm seeing our brothers and sisters carpool to these reparations task force all throughout the country. They gassing up. They putting, hey, you got 10 on gas, I got 10 on gas, you got 20. Let's gas up and get there. We got to be in these places. We got to let our presence be known. We got to let our presence be felt. Put eyeballs on everybody, because the 1 minute where we're not there and the 1 minute where we're not present and we're absent, they gonna slide that shit in and somebody else gonna be walking away. Mr. Mutombo, Mr. Jolov, Mr. Jorge, Mr. Muhammad, Mr. Ukrainian, whoever is gonna be trying to get our money, because they all got their eyes on FBA. They're all pocket watching FBA, and they all know where to go get our money at. And they got a whole gang of Democrats and Republicans who want to hand it to them. So the onus is on us to stop that shit, and you do it by being certified, just like our sister was certified, and she spoke that certified truth, and all of a sudden, everybody knew what it was. That's how you handle the game. See, when we get on code, we untouchable, because the code is undefeated. Can't nobody see us. Can't nobody see us. When we speak that real talk, everybody knows what it is. They can't slither around it. They can't try to poke no holes in it. See, when they talk that bullshit, we can poke 100 holes in it, because they coming from a place of bullshit. We come from a place of reality, and there ain't nothing they can say to change reality. You can want to change reality. You can hope you can change reality. You can think, wish, and fantasize about the shit all goddamn day until you turn blue in the face. But you can't change reality, and the reality is that we got the truth, the facts, and all the power on our side. So let's act like it. And I'm loving seeing my brothers and sisters act like it. I'm loving seeing my brothers and sisters step up to the mantle. And every time I see any one of them spit that hot fire at these task force, at these conferences, and at these committees, we're one step closer to reparations. And that's how you do it. The blueprint has been laid out. The manuscript laid out. The playbook laid out. Now all we got to do is go execute. So that sister right there, certified salute. And there's a lot more brothers and sisters who are putting it down. As a matter of fact, our brother, and I know a lot of you know this brother, our brother Black Voltron. Yes, town business, salute all the way, brother. See, Voltron got a way of speaking to where you can't play with his words. It's going to be so real, so sincere, so true, and to the point that if you try to twist it, you're going to hurt your hands because it's too Loctite. And that's how we got to speak. We got to speak very, very Loctite, airtight, to where they can't spin it around. Our brother Voltron went in there, and I don't know if he spoke before or after this sister, but certified salute to our brother, because when he spoke, everybody in the room knew exactly what he was talking about. Everybody in the room knew exactly what reparations were, and everybody in the room knew exactly reparations belong to us. You can't play with the truth. Listen to this.
fourth generation resident of Oakland, California, born and raised, town business in the building. I just want to come here as a representative of the Clark family, second generation skilled tradesman, elevator escalator worker, mechanic, and I just want to bring the focus back to why we're having this reparation task force. The whole purpose is because us, descendants of slaves, foundational Black Americans, were purposely and deliberately attacked at our land, our people. We were stolen, destroyed, and killed. The whole purpose of this is to bring our families the proper reparations we need, and that's a check from the Franchise Tax Board, number one, with all the rest of the parts of reparations. I want to thank you for the time and appreciate you for hearing me now. And please, I know you guys are stressed out, probably being attacked by white supremacists. I can't even imagine. But please, you are on the precipice of doing the right thing for not only for foundational Black Americans here in California,
Thank
but
you.
for all of us in the
Thank you,
United
sir.
States of America. Thank you.
All right, next speaker. Thank you very much.
Damn, 100%. Could you play with that? How you gonna twist them words? How you gonna spin that around? You can't. How you gonna try to lie on that? You can't. Our brother was too precise with that one. Think about it. Listen to what he said. He gave a historical precedence. He broke down the past, the present, and the future. He gave justified reasons why reparations are owed to us. He spoke clearly. He spoke direct. He mentioned our lineage by name and addressed the committee members properly and mentioned supremacy in the process. Everything was covered, and he did it in that small amount of time frame in which we have. That is what you call execution. Salute to our brother Voltron for that one. Yes, and this is how we got to do it all across the country, and I'm seeing our brothers and sisters stand up. So when these ops start popping up all over the place, ops can't handle that. Ops can't handle that. What they say, you can't handle the truth? When we start speaking the truth, them ops got to fall back. They ain't got no choice but to. This is what it is. This is reparations. This is what we stand on. And y'all know, like I said, when we on code, we undefeated. It don't take the whole community. It don't take everybody. It don't take every last Black person on the planet. All we need is that certified 100. And we are all that certified 100. And when the certified 100 step up, things get done and things are getting finished right here, right now. That's what I'm talking about. So as we seen our brothers and sisters out there putting it down, you know a couple ops had to pop up, right? Yeah, and I'm gonna show you now what not to do. See, when you start seeing these folks come around and they start speaking a bunch of slander, a bunch of bullshit, they start saying things that have nothing to do with it. They start speaking at these reparations committees like they on the damn Twitter space. These are the folks who have no business being anywhere around certified Black society. They have no business being around our reparations claim. Y'all remember a few months ago when them folks had that BLM rally and they were showing up armed, talking about give us reparations or else? Those are the type of people who are either paid agents or they're agents of chaos or they're self-serving agents. And none of them have the community's best insight in mind. And these are the type of people that we have been removing. These are the type of people that we don't give no credence to. So if they ever come around and they start talking about, man, y'all gonna give us reparations or else, or y'all's gonna give us reparations or we gonna turn this motherfucker up, or y'all better give us this reparations or it's gonna get hostile. See, all that hostile tough guy shit, that ain't what we about. And this is why everybody's mad, because certified Black society, we've been getting the job done and just playing it clean. We ain't out here running around. Y'all remember that Roe versus Wade situation where them Karens, they was out there breaking windows? Our reparations movement has been far more clean, far more proper than that. And that's what they don't like. We ain't out here running around like Karen and Sally Sue and jumping up and down and getting arrested. Nobody's out here getting arrested at these reparations rallies because we doing it in a political business sense. We businessmen and women, and we trying to get a business deal. And that's how we've been approaching reparations. Not with emotion, with business. We conduct this with business savvy. And once you conduct this with business savvy, you're going to get business results. What are our business results? Reparations. By the trillions, not by the 100 billion, not by the million, not by Jesse Jackson, not by Al Sharpton's perm. No, trillions of dollars in our pockets because we doing it the clean way. So when these ops start popping up, and you can always identify them because they start saying shit that ain't got nothing to do with us. They start saying shit that sounds like it came from a fucking Twitter space, or they start saying things that nobody in the community says. Only they say it. AKA, what I tell y'all, that's that motherfucker. So whenever you see a that's that motherfucker show up, and they start talking that's that motherfucker language, we already know you dealing with an op. a Repa-Fakinist, and you're gonna have a whole lot of them. You know how I always say you can judge the diaspora by those who want to steal our reparations and those who want to stop our reparations? You can also judge these reparations ops by the ones who are going to play faker and act like they're some type of scientist and start rattling out numbers. Yeah, you gotta watch for them. They'll start saying shit like, the equation of the statistical average shows that the lineage is owed 2.9% of the economic employment rate, and if we don't divvy that up by 22% of every black child, we won't be eligible for reparations until the year 2099. Yeah, you gotta watch out for that. That's the smooth talking Repa-Faker. You gotta be real careful of them, and there's a whole lot of them. That's that ADOS shit. They'll start saying all these words and throwing out all these numbers, and it sound real good, but we like, fuck that. Cut the check. Get to the point. See, what they want to do, they want to confuse you and they want to make it sound nice, because a lot of people say, man, he know a lot about reparations because he knows numbers. You can know all the goddamn numbers in the world and still not know reparations. You can spew out every single mathematical equation and still only want reparations for your own pockets. And we're not judging people based on big words. We're not judging people based on numbers. We're not judging people based on mathematical equations. We judging people based on how certified they are, how thorough they are, and how real they are. There ain't no substitute for being real. There ain't no substitute for being thorough, and there damn sure ain't no substitute for being certified. So all those mathematical wizards who throw out all these numbers and make it sound real good and make them sound like they experts, fuck nah. We ain't with that. That's the smooth talking Repa-Faker. And then you also have the hostile one. That's the one who's running around talking about jive turkey. You feel me? That's that NFC or what was that shit? The not fucking around coalition. The Grand Agent J guy. When they was out there saying all that reckless shit, it's always the guy who grabs the microphone. It's always the guy who gets in front of the camera. They start saying things that none of us say. They start talking real hostile about what they gon's do's if they don't get to what they want, and it never identifies with what we're saying. So you gotta always watch out for that Repa-Faker, because they out here faking. They out here claiming that they down for reparations, but in reality, these people are trying to either line their own pockets or they're trying to sabotage our pockets. So we got our eyes on every single last one of them, because this is a game of ops. This is a game with backdoor, backstabbing, undermining agents, and people who will do anything to prevent us from going up the ladder. Yes, that's how we gotta view it. These folks will do every last thing in their power to try to stop foundational black Americans from excelling and try to stop foundational black Americans from exceeding. And speaking of folks who would do that, you got to also acknowledge the clout chasers. Because one thing this reparations movement has shown is there's a whole lot of clout chasers. Folks that don't give a damn about reparations. They don't give a damn about the ancestors. They don't give a damn about the community. What they want to do is get in front of the camera, starts the tap dancing, act like it's a goddamn rap concert, because I think half of these people out here wish they was rappers and they would rather grab a damn microphone and perform a goddamn two-step than to get reparations. So they start showing up, bringing up their little beefs. They take all the time that we have, all the energy and effort in the small amount of time that we have to speak on reparations, and they start coming up there talking bullshit like this.
Commenter, welcome.
Peace to the tribe, peace to my ancestors. Lineage-based reparations for sure, and definitely this Freedmen Banking Bureau and this whole movement that they have going on, we just don't believe it. You know, they stole money from black Americans before, and they'll steal money from black Americans again. And honestly, some of the representatives out here, I know the advertisement is not going too well with you all because we don't hear nothing from you all. But as far as Freedmen goes, ones like Marcel Dixon, or actually his name's Dixon Marcel from now on, because he betrayed his people, and he's in Chicago promoting white candidates, over black American candidates, and he's online trolling, and he's talking, all types of mess about people. So, forget him. He's a traitor. Now, as far as Naeem, this guy goes by the name of Lord Abba. Basically just sending a curse on everybody, and I don't know what that guy's talking about. I really don't know what he's talking about. No one should be listening to him, and he represents the Freedmen Party. So, and if you think the grassroots are playing about the Freedmen movement, ask Gabriel Comonte in Chicago. So thank you, Chicago, and to the tribe.
Sir, thank you. All right, next speaker. Good morning.
What the hell? Family, that right there is the definition of a time-wasting troll. That is somebody who don't give a damn about reparations. That's somebody who don't give a damn about cash payments. They got their own little personal beefs. Didn't I say you're going to have paid agents, agents of chaos, or self-serving agents? Now, it's clear he's not a paid agent because his shirt looked like he pulled that motherfucker off the floor. But that's another story for another day on another time. This is a person who'd rather get clout. These are the clout chasers for reparations. And you're going to have a lot of them popping up. Reparations is not about your personal agenda. Reparations is not about your Twitter space. Reparations is not about how you feels about somebody. Reparations is about a debt owed to our lineage, all of us. And people understand that when we get our reparations checks, there's going to be a lot of folks who we don't agree with who are going to get reparations. But I don't give a damn as long as the certifieds do. This is a lineage. This is a heritage. This is a collective. We are all in this together. So when somebody comes with the individual mind state, it is toxic. And we always talk about the toxicity of individualism. We don't represent individualism. We represent the collective as a whole. So when you come out and you start talking about, man, Marcel Dixon now. Marcel is in South Carolina. You are in California at a reparations hearing. What the hell Marcel got to do with your California reparations? And notice this guy ain't even talk about reparations. He sits there and says, yeah, lineage-based reparations, yeah, we for that. The very first thing he said was, well, lineage-based and yeah. And then he moved on to all the haterade. Then he jumped to all the clout chasing. These are the time-wasting trolls that we always talk about. These are the time-wasting trolls that we always see. They are going to try to stifle our movement if they can't get off their little clout. That's what it's about. They want to take down the whole goddamn ship if they don't get a little piece of clout. They don't even want all the clout. They just want a little small piece in a little feeble world because it makes them feel better. And we got to always watch for these people. And when them cameras get to rolling and you start seeing people live on that TV, them motherfuckers turn into super clout chasers. They'll do anything for clout because a lot of them want to be superstars, but they ain't got it in them to be a star. These are the people who sit back and they watch Tariq Nasheed and they get mad because they're not doing what he's doing. These are the folks who sit back and watch Jason Black and get mad because they're not doing what he's doing. If you want clout, go build you some type of credentials. That's what it is. That's your problem. You're chasing clout instead of credentials. If you got some credentials and you earn some respect, then maybe people might give a damn on what you say, and you ain't got to come and hijack and sabotage our reparations hearings with your own little personal internet beefs. You taking internet beefs to a committee where we only have a small amount of time to talk about reparations? This ain't no goddamn Twitter space. These are the folks that be having them 22-hour Twitter spaces, messy as hell, always in some type of conflict with somebody else, and that shit obviously follows them everywhere they go. They can't unplug off the internet. These are the folks who are always tapped into the internet. They're on the internet when they're on the internet, and then they're on the internet when they're off the internet. How fucked up is that? And that's what we say when you're dealing with these type of folks on that type of time with that type of sucker energy. I mean, that guy come out there with shades on. He got shades on, ain't even dressed proper. You are at a business event. You don't come to no business event with shades on, a shirt that you done pulled out the goddamn dirty clothes basket. You look like Snuffleupagus, and you trying to talk about what Marcel's doing in South Carolina or what Freedmen are doing in Chicago. Worry about the task at hand. That's why it's called a task force. So we can speak and we can petition to get reparations for our lineage and not a goddamn Twitter space. He trying to get reparations for his Twitter space. Goddamn shame. And I'm not surprised because it came out that this individual's clicked up with some other individuals who are some losers. And when you deal with losers, you get loser shit. Don't I always say that, family? It ain't even that deep. When you deal with winners, you win. And when you deal with losers, you lose. Ain't that deep, ain't that hard to figure out, ain't that hard to tell. And we just telling it how it is. And we gonna continue to tell it how it is. So it's all about reparations for the collective. And we gotta start weeding out all of these little reparations ops, these Repa-Fakers. See that right there, family? That's the definition of a Repa-Faker. That's a guy who's gonna come to our reparations committees, act like he's gonna speak on reparations, says reparations one time, and then starts talking about a whole bunch of other bullshit. They use this claim for clout. They're using our lineage for clout. When you start talking about our lineage claim and our reparations claim, that brings out every third person who wants to try to get some shine that they can't get in their real life. See, when you're losing in your real life, you tap into the internet and you start trying to live a fake life. You create a persona that ain't really you. And then you can hide behind your emoji, you can hide behind your avatar, and then when you show up to these reparations committees, you hide behind shades and a dusty ass shirt. This is what they do. And we know who they are. We know what type of time they on. When you come out and say, man, you know, salute to the tribe. We just gonna start talking about Marcel and everybody now. That type of shit right there, man, that's that fraudulent shit. That's that sucker shit. What I always say, we ain't got time to waste. We got money to make. So we all about getting money. And if you ain't about getting money, or you trying to stop us from getting money, move your ass out the fucking way. And that's not the only Repa-Faker that was showing up. Then you're gonna have a lot of these folks going back to the diaspora again, who are gonna come out and they're gonna start saying we. They're gonna start talking about we, us. All that shit that Steve Harvey was saying, they look just like us. All skin folk ain't kin folk. And they use their skin to get in. I always tell people, black skin is like a fake ID to a whole lot of people. These folks will come from every single place in the diaspora, show they black skin, and walk right into our reparations claim and start speaking like they us. So you started to see these folks popping up in these reparations hearings, not just in California, but throughout the country. And you come to find out some of these people are Jamaican, some of these people are Haitian, some of these people are African, but they keep saying we, us, all together. And if you don't say nothing, they won't say nothing. If you ain't checked their paperwork, they gonna walk right in. This is why we got to start checking paperwork. This is why we got to start regulating. And I can't say start regulating because y'all know Certified Black Society, we regulate every day, all day. But they start popping up in all of our reparations task force and they grab the microphone, they go on these tangents, they start saying all types of wild and reckless shit. It's the Repa-Faker. This is just the diaspora version of a Repa-Faker. The last guy was the dusty version of a Repa-Faker. Then you're gonna have the Democratic Shield version of a Repa-Faker. They're all over the goddamn place, family. And all these motherfuckers is faking. They not true like us. See, what we do right here on the Black Alpha Network, we separate the real from the fake, the artificial from the authentic, and the certifieds from the counterfeits. They can't get past us. We see they ass tenfold. Seen them, saw them, spot them, frame them.
Next speaker, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Bishop William, he is our honorary chairman, so we give honors of respect. Moving forward. 9 committee members, Dr. Amos Brown, Cheryl Grills, Lisa Holder, Scott Lewis, and Don Tamaki, all were chosen by Governor Gavin Newsom. Assembly Attorney Redmond chose Joan Sawyer as well as Chairman Moore. And we have Senator Tony Atkins, who chose Stephen Bradford, and Councilwoman Montgomery Stepp. Now, when I think about reparations, I don't think about a Scottish governor, a Mexican assembly, Anthony Redmond. That's who chose these 9 members. I want you to be very careful. We don't expect non-blacks to tell us how we're going to get reparations. We got to mobilize it by ourselves. It's power to the people. And I appreciate Heavenly, as well as Brother Reggie and many others who come, natives who speak their mind. But reality is, if we don't put foot to power, you guys cannot make the final decisions on reparations. You have to listen to the people. No shade. Each of you are probably nice in your own right. Probably go out and have a drink or something. When it comes to reparations and repairment of a damage, this is serious business. Tony Atkins, Gavin Newsom, and Anthony Redden should not be the final say-so on why you're dragging your feet. So no shade to you, but we have to get reparations, not by you. It is power to the people. You hear what I'm saying? Stop backbiting and talking shit. Let's be and put that paper and make them work, because they're not the final say-so. You are. You are. Thank you.
Thank you.
That sounded real good, didn't it, family? Sounded real nice. Oh, yeah. That sounded real good. Got a little ribbon on it and everything. We. Us. Those folks, they not black. But did y'all notice a slight little accent in her voice? Did y'all notice a slight little change of dialect when she was talking? Did y'all notice all the reckless shit? She started cursing at a goddamn reparations meeting. Again, we are not trying to get ratchet reparations. We are trying to get lineage-based cash payments. Business, not personal. Business, not Twitter space. Business, not Love and Hip Hop. If you notice, when she was talking, she had an accent. Yes, she did. And she started calling out everybody else, saying, all them damn other groups, y'all cannot be the leaders of the reparations claim. Y'all are in other groups. We black folks. And you know, every time somebody says we black folks, 9 times out of 10, they're non-FBA. See, we don't have to say we black people. We say we FBA. We refer to our lineage. They can't refer to our lineage, so they have to say the whole black race. And if you ain't quick enough, you won't catch it. You hear somebody say, man, you know how we black folks is. Yep, we black folks stick together. Man, don't play with us black folks. And that motherfucker ain't even from America. They from somewhere in another village on the other side of the earth. But they said black, so you fall right in line. But see, certifieds, we say, Where your family from? Y'all know the infamous term. Where your family from? My people originally from, yep, exactly. And then the stuttering, the fumbling, and the bumbling kicks in, and you know exactly what the fuck they talking about. That woman is Haitian, for the record, family. That is not a foundational Black American woman. And that's why she never used the term lineage one time. We're out here, we going there. We out here trying to get lineage-based reparations, and she just kept saying black, and we. This ain't a black, and we reparations claim. This is a lineage-based reparations claim. And then here's a kicker. If you're from the diaspora and you support us with reparations, all you got to do is come out and say, hey, I'm not qualified, but I'm your fellow Black brother or sister, so I'm here to support you. It's okay to support somebody in something that you don't get. I support my friends who are in college. I'm not sitting in their classroom with them. I support a lot of my little cousins who play basketball. I'm not jumping on the court with a bunch of ninth graders. It's okay to support somebody for something that you don't get. But you see the mentality of a jockba. They want to come in and they want to only support you if they can get in on it. That's that messy ass sleazy shit that we always regulating. So when people get mad when we start to regulating, deal with it. Because if you can't come out and just support us off the merit of we all's brothers, like they always say, we all's brothers now, we as Black folks, we got to do it together. You can't ever support us based on that. You can only support us if you can get in on it. That's some backstabbing culture ass shit. That's some tribalism ass shit, and that's some moocher, leeching, blender, tether ass shit, and that's exactly what she was doing. Yeah, she wants reparations, because soon as she says all that we, and power to the people, which is a foundational Black American term, soon as she says all that and Black folks start cheering, she's gonna start saying, well, what about reparations for Haitians? That's the only reason she's there. Trust me, she would not be there talking about reparations if she didn't feel she was gonna get some dollars. That's what they all do. So when we starts to G-checking and regulating, that's the type of shit that happens. That's how the fuck it goes down. Man, we out here heavy. Man, y'all smash that like button. Appreciate the pull up, Black Alpha Network. Listen, family, when I say that we got some fire coming up, we got some fire coming up. Tap in, because this is going to be a live one. Like y'all know, only the Black Alpha Network can do, only Certified Black Society can do, and the whole family tree. So yes, pull on up, come on through like we always do every week, and let's just continue this moment. Let's continue this movement, and let's continue this push that we are all on. Certified 100. Let's go. So yeah, we regulating anybody who comes around. We G-checking anybody who ain't got that right paperwork, and we just letting the whole world know that we are too certified for you to cross that line. We are too thorough for you to pull on us, and we just too real for you to come around us with that fake shit, that Repa-Faker shit. So if you think you're gonna Repa-Fake us to our dollars, ain't happening. So if you think you're gonna Repa-Fake us to our money, it ain't gonna happen. If you think you're gonna Repa-Fake us to our pockets, it ain't gonna happen. If you think you're gonna Repa-Fake us to our bank accounts, it damn sure ain't happen. You better try again, motherfucker, cause Certified Black Society's in the building all day. And that wasn't the only op there, no, because remember what I said ops come in all different shapes, sizes, and all different colors. They allow other people from other groups to come and speak on our reparations as if they even have a dog in the fight, as if they even care, as if it means anything to them. They don't even qualify. How the hell you don't even qualify? Nobody in your family tree qualifies. Not just you, fuck that. Not just the individual who's speaking. They whole family, their whole lineage don't qualify, but yet they qualify to talk. If you cannot qualify for foundational Black American reparations, then you don't qualify to speak on foundational Black American reparations. But of course, they allow everybody to come in because ops come in all different shapes, sizes, and shades. Now, have you ever seen a foundational Black American sit on anybody else's panel? Can I go sit on a panel about immigration and sit there and say, nope, I don't agree with it? Can I go sit on a panel about Ukrainians getting billions of dollars and say, nope, I don't agree with it? Can I go sit on a panel about folks getting Airbnbs who aren't even from America and say, nope, I don't agree with it? Nah, they would never allow us. We wouldn't even know when the hell they having the event. But yet everybody knows where we're having our reparations committees at, right? You got motherfuckers that'll pop up from the other side of the earth when 5 of us are talking about reparations and say, what are you talking about? What money? What money? You have money over there? Tell us more. Can we talk about it, please? We'd be like, how the fuck did they know we was here? Half foundational Black Americans don't even know where some of these committees are, but yet these other minority groups pop up and start speaking on the shit more than we do. They knew about it before we did. They knew the location, the time, and the date and everything. You guys got a meeting there on April 3rd, right? Across the street from KFC and Church's Chicken, right? Fuck out of here. So they had some W guy. He popped up there running all types of interference while you got all Black people sitting there talking about our reparations. he pops up and says, well, this is like problematic because, like this, that, and the other thing. Listen.
Things like land taking or LA County shuffling around underperforming teachers to black schools, that needs to change, that needs to stop. At the same time, this commission has talked about repealing equal protection laws in California and given cash grants to people to buy homes or to support businesses. And that's a 14th Amendment issue. You'd have to repeal the 14th Amendment first, and that's done so much
running interference
for black folks, for folks of all races,
minorities.
Gay people can get married because of the 14th Amendment. That's standing
other
in your
preferences.
Way. I'm sorry. If you want to hand out money like that. So what I'm saying is either you do it in a race-neutral way, fixing schools, fixing eminent domain, or you listen to the people here, you just hand out money, you get your ass handed to you in court, and it sets everything back, and it shows just how ridiculous and shameful that whole endeavor is. That's all I got. Thank you.
Hey, look at that. Hey, and you still had some coons in there clapping. Oh, yeah, he just said I'm not going to get money now. Woohoo! Y'all remember a few years ago when they was trying to say, no, all black folks is going to support reparations. Who would turn down money? Shit, the same black folks who turned down freedom. The same black folks who said, I was not leaving the plantation. Slavery? What's slavery? Slave revolt? I'm going to go tell on VC. I don't want to be free. I want to stay right here next to Massel. You can guarantee the motherfucker could come up right now. Black folks ain't going to get nothing. There'll be 25 black folks that hop up and start cheering. Guarantee the shit. You ain't never gonna put nothing past no goddamn coon. Well, anyway, this clown, he goes out there and he's all nervous. He's like, that he kept pausing, family. That wasn't me stopping the clip. He was pausing because he was scared. And he's so scared, but he's still gonna push that line of supremacy. So he's out there saying, do not give black folks money. Go give it to all of these other groups. That's why he sat there and named 7-8 different groups. He said, go give it to them through other means and don't make it racial. Now, when other groups get their reparations, I never see them talking about it not being racial then. I never see them not talking about lineage-based then. No, they don't ever do that. They ain't never got smoke for these other groups, who, by the way, let's make this clear. Foundational Black Americans have never got reparations. Other groups have gotten ample reparations. How come you trying to fight us for the reparations we ain't had, but you ain't fighting reparations for all them other groups who have gotten reparations, who are getting reparations, who still have the reparations? No smoke for them, but smoke for us, because like I said, they hate you because you foundational Black American, and they really hate your ass if you a foundational Black American with money. The world don't want to see us with money, y'all. The world cannot stand us with economic power. Look at Black Wall Street and every single other own autonomous, independent Black community that got their own economic base. That's the number one thing they cannot stand, because that goes against us being the permanent underclass. When you designate somebody as the permanent underclass, you will do everything to make sure that their economic deprivation is permanent. It's not the kind of underclass. It's not the sort of underclass. They want to make us the permanent underclass. And that's why he went out and he named all those other groups, because he understands that foundational Black Americans with money, we will be able to surpass all of those other groups because we whooping their ass now without the money. So what happens when we got the money? Exactly. So that's just more interference. And those type of people right there, they're invited. They're invited. As a matter of fact, the same people who put together this task force are the same people who invited a guy like him. Trust me, they give these guys the red carpet treatment, say, going out there and run interference, going out there and sabotage, going out there and hijack. These people don't just find their way into our endeavors. They don't just find their way into our buildings. They don't just find their way into our circles. No, they get escorted right on in so they can run their little interference game. We see that shit from a million miles away. Now, speaking on that, and that's just another clown, sucker, chump. We already know what it is. Now, as we were talking earlier about these Democratic shields popping up left and right, and we was talking about an esteemed leader gets the money like that loopy ass lady was talking about, and we said it's going to be Al Sharpton and his perm, and they're going to be divvying up our reparations money to HBCUs and CNN and NCOBRA and NARC, all that bullshit. Al Sharpton has resurfaced again for the billionth time, and now they're trying to act like they support reparations. Be very cautious of these people who have never supported reparations, who all of a sudden say they support reparations. They're only saying they support reparations, A, because we're getting close to the bag, and B, they want to get in on the bag so they can misdirect and misallocate all the funds. See, that's what they try to do. They try to stop you from getting your reparations, and then when you get it, they got to get their hands on it so they can redirect it somewhere else. They'll say, yeah, we'll let FBA get the bag, then we'll snatch it out their hands and we'll go give it to that group, and that group. So that's why the Al Sharptons of the world, the MSNBCs of the world, the CNNs of the world are coming around here saying they support reparations. I'm going to say it again, family. 99.9% of people who say they support reparations only support it so they can take it from you. Period. Point blank. Bottom line. Done deal. Case closed. They don't support reparations unless they can get their little fingers on it. They can get their minority fingers on it, they POC, they tether fingers on it, whatever. As long as they can get that shit from you. Everybody is a reparations op. And that's how I want everybody to view it. When you see that motherfucker at the job saying, oh yeah, I support reparations for the blacks, that's an op. When you see that person saying, I like reparations for my brother, op. That motherfucker who calls in your Twitter space, I believe in reparations for all of us together, op. Every last person's an op. We're not gonna sit here and take anti-black racism and then add trillions of dollars to anti-black racism and think shit's gonna be sweet. It ain't sweet. These folks is popping up everywhere, man. We are in the 11th hour. We pushing hard. Every time we get on code, the more off code they get, the more desperate they get. So they're gonna throw everything at us. Problem for them is that we are untouchable, unbreakable, unmatched, and stronger than ever. And when we are stronger than ever, all that shit bounces right off of us. Yeah, they can throw whatever the fuck they want. I'm telling you now. They can throw it, toss it, slide that shit, spin it, but that shit gonna bounce right the fuck off of certified black society because we ain't about them games. We only about that money. We all about handling business. And when we handling business, nothing they do matters. And that's what I want to tell the family. And I always say that. We gonna always have opposition. We gonna always have enemies. We always gonna have people coming at us sideways. But when you handle your business, nothing matters. When you taking care of yours, nothing matters. Do your part. Hold shit down, stay certified and thorough, and they can come up with whatever the fuck they want to come up with. That shit going to fail. That's the beauty of doing your own thing. When you do your own thing, whatever the fuck they do means nothing. So, Al Sharpton, Perm, he came out with a bunch of other people talking about how they support reparations. And then they act like they've been down with it for years. And then they always try to put this like fake pressure on the world. I don't know why we haven't done it yet. Why haven't anybody supported reparations? You ain't supported reparations. Quit talking about this mythological figure. Because you know, they always want to talk about the anti-black racists like it's not them, like it's somebody else. You know, like it's the person behind the curtains, you know, because those supremacists and those anti-black people, they always want to harm the blacks. No, you do. Your mama do. Your auntie do. Your grandmama, your great-grandma, your grandpa, all y'all asses are anti-black. And all y'all asses is reparations ops. And it's going to be that way and it's going to stay that way and we're going to regulate all the damn time. Listen.
While cities like Evanston, Newport News, Detroit, now the state of California has reparations on the agenda and actually have reparations in practice. Now is the time.
And Rabbi, as you get ready to give your response, I can say, Bishop, that I know Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, who's pushing H.R. 40, has also asked the president to sign an executive order pushing that. But Rabbi Pesner, why are you involved?
Well, first of all, great to see my dear friend Bishop Vashti McKenzie, and great to be back with you, Reverend Al. I agree with Bishop McKenzie. What took us so long? Why not yesterday? Why not? We have 400 years of enslaved African people. We have 400 years of systemic racism. We have 400 years of voter suppression and Jim Crow. If not now, when?
I'll tell you why it took so long. Because you are all really against reparations, and you are trying to make it look like you support reparations. So you can try to sabotage our reparations. The main motherfucker coming out here saying they support it is the person trying to sabotage it, but they understand they cannot sabotage it from across the street. They can only sabotage it if they get next to you. It's like somebody trying to steal your money. They can't steal your money if they're on the other side of town. All right? They can't steal your money if they're in another county. They got to get next to your wallet, get next to your purse so they can snatch that shit and run. All these motherfuckers are is purse snatchers. They like the motherfucker who take your shit and then take off running. They trying to snatch our reparations chain. That's all it is. And they're using a bunch of bullshit language to try to decipher that.
And Rabbi Hillis says, well, you don't tear it down, but you at least have to compensate the person who, from whom the beam was stolen. Folks, we have 400 years of reparations to confront because folks who are the descendant of African slaves had their lives, their bodies, their wealth, their livelihood all stolen from them, and it was compounded year over year by systemic racism and Jim Crow. So if not now, when, Reverend Al?
And I might add that this is not the first time you've taken hard positions, Rabbi. You joined me in calling on a minister's march on Washington about 3 or 4 years ago.
A minister's march on Washington.
Some of these issues, but reparations.
That's a hard stance.
Have languished
pushed in Congress for decades, as was said. But
First off, he said, this ain't the first time you done took a hard position with me before. You supported me with my ministers' march on Washington. Like, that's a hard stance. It may have been a hard walk because your ass is 372 years old, but it wasn't a hard position. That right there, family, is what I'm talking about. They bring out the W, who's coming and saying, I support reparations. I'm with you guys. Now, mind you, I just played the last W, and he was saying, don't support reparations. You see what I always say? You got the one who's going to try to steal your reparations, and then you have the one who's going to try to stop your reparations. Every community has one of those two, A or B, the thief or the obstructionist. That's what it all boils down to. The last guy at the California reparations hearing, he was trying to stop our reparations. He was just saying, don't do it. We'll take you to court. He was talking about, we'll see you in court, damn it. Oh, and by the way, he's not the only person, because you got other people from other communities and they're all talking about taking our reparations claims to court. That's not the first time I've heard that. But that guy's trying to stop our reparations. This guy's coming in and he's trying to fake support our reparations. So the person who's trying to stop it is the person who realized he cannot steal it. And the person who's trying to steal it is the person who's realizing he can't stop it either. This is what it is. These are the two tactics in which they choose. It's the one who comes with the bite and the smile versus the one who comes with the bite and the growl. Good cop, bad cop, but they both ops. Now, when that lady was talking about esteemed leader, that's why they pull out the Al Sharpton, so he could be the esteemed leader. So that guy is going to use Al Sharpton so we can get our reparations, and then Al Sharpton is going to be the guy who gets the check, and he's going to spend all that shit on his perm activator and HBCUs. We know the game, we see the game, and the problem that they got right now, y'all, the problem that they got is that you and me, we don't go for the shit. We regulating that shit on site. Not down the block, not around the corner, not tomorrow. We doing that shit today. We see it, we spot it, we frame it. See, they're not used to having to deal with this right here. This conversation that we having, and we telling these motherfuckers, try again. They ain't used to that shit. They thought all of this shit was gonna work. Let's make it very clear, y'all. They thought all of these games were going to work. And they thought they were all gonna work without a hitch. They thought there'd be no resistance. They thought they would just weasel right on through, try to steal, try to stop, try to sabotage, try to hijack. They thought they were just gonna be ops in the open. But then they come to find out that they fucking with some real ones. Matter of fact, they fucking with the realest ones. And that's certified black society. And we don't play them games. We on it all day, 24/7. And they can't get nothing past us. So now shit done got harder for them. Shit done got more real for them. And shit done got more pressure. And that's what we're going to continue to do. We're going to continue to put on pressure, and we're going to continue to keep it real, and we're going to continue to regulate all the way to the bank, certified. And it feel good being certified. As a matter of fact, it feel damn good being certified. Because family, the heat is on. The temperature's turned up. We are right now on the verge of everything. This is the best time to ever be alive if you a foundational black American. Beautiful time to be alive. And we're all a part of it. And y'all know I always say we are enjoying each other's companies. We're going to regulate, we're going to G-check, we're going to cash checks, and we're going to enjoy each other every step of the way. We're going down in history. Because certified foundational black Americans, we do what we want to do. We do it as we please. We ain't asking nobody. We ain't in the back of the classroom with our hand up saying, ooh, pick me. Hell to the no. We ain't asking for no permission. And that's the best thing about it. This is not the yes we can era. This is not we can all get along. This is not the all lives matter. They can come up with any little sucker, defeated, docile, passive term they could come up with. We don't go for none of that shit. We represent certified all day long. And we hitting different out here. Yes, the fuck we are. This is the pissed off generation. We pissed off, but we pissed off in a good way, in a smooth way. So you can get mad and that shit can have you all over the place. And then you can get pissed off and say, I'm gonna handle shit right now. And that's what we doing. We handling shit right now. We make up our mind and go. And that's why we fielding and we yielding results. That's how you do things. That's how we get down. Certified 100. I always say it all the time, family. I don't need the whole planet Earth. I don't need every last black person to team up and get on code. All I need is that certified 100. And once we get that certified 100 in which we got, then things get done and we win. And if you look around, we winning every day, bro. One love from the Black Alpha Network. Y'all know what time it is. When I tell you we got more fire, I'm telling you, tap in, pull up, come through, because we pushing that line. And this year is already our year, so let's go ahead and just own it. Let's own everything we do. Let's own reparations, because that's what it's going to take. We cannot allow anybody else to try to steer this car. When I was talking about the ops and the designated drivers and the minions and the good cops and the bad cops, the smile, the growl and all that, that's everything that they're going to try to throw at us. And then some more. But guess what? They can add all that shit up together. They can put it in one big goddamn pot and they can throw it at us every single motherfucking day, but it ain't ever gonna work because one of us is stronger than all of them because we stand together 24/7. Salute. Appreciate the love, y'all. Thanks for everybody who's been tapping in, and I appreciate everybody who's been supporting the Cash App. Trust me, I know exactly who you are. I know your names, and I told you I want to do a whole episode and just thank everybody, but I'll do that right now. So I appreciate you from the bottom of my certified foundational Black American soul. I mean it, and that means a lot to me, the fact that we stand together and we support each other. We exhibit everything they say that we don't do. They're always out here trying to say we're divided and we don't like each other and we can't get along, and that's a goddamn lie. And the only reason they try to tell us that stuff is because they want us to be separate. Remember, they'll come to us and they'll tell us a bunch of lies about ourselves so they can try to trick us into believing it, but the tricks, the cons, the schemes, and the scams don't work. We untouchable. We know that we stand together. We know that we work together. We know that we build together. In family, we're building. And we build by holding each other down. I'm going to hold down all my certified sisters. I'm going to hold down all my certified brothers. And together, we're going to turn this inside out the real way. So salute from the Black Alpha Network. I want everybody to stay good, stay safe, stay vigilant, and stay dangerous. Do that, and they're going to be running out the yard. Guarantee it. Y'all have a good day, have a good night, have a good time. The roast continues and we gonna continue to shine. But always remember, no matter what they say, no matter what they do, or no matter what the fuck they try to pull on us, let it be known, let them hear it, and say it loud. And that is, black is beautiful and beautiful is always black. One love, family.